back like a crack addict. I'm gonna watch this stream with Ace's first and only interview. Oh shit, my bad, Ace. I didn't know he was doing the one and only. All right, well, we get to watch it here live. So give me a second while I load this bitch up. We're on day 16. 104 days of streaming. I don't know if I'm gonna count the Mass Effect days, but I probably will not. Yeah, I will not. Let's get it started. And my melody in my head, and I can't keep up. I'm singing now. Wah, 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 everything. I'm a hot.
Me and Amaya have been arguing all day. It's not adding, any type of help to the situation that I got going on right now. So boom, with her, making that comment of
it's talking about Maya getting bullied. I kind of watched a little bit of it, so yeah.
It was I'd rather kiss you than Amaya and all that. Respectfully, it's like that ship has already been sailed. I've been over that whole situation. So the fact that you still trying to insert yourself in everybody else's issues is pissing me off. You know what I mean? Like even Austin had felt some type of way because Huda had took his words about Shelly and transformed it into something else than it was. And it's been multiple occurrences with that. And you just gotta take that on the chin and just watch back the tapes.
People felt like Taylor led Olandria on.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who was there firsthand, did you feel that same sentiment? My dog's
fuck.
Merman, what's that?
Be honest. You want to be honest about everything all of a sudden.
Shit. See, the thing is with that situation is, Taylor had faced a lot of influences to
influences, okay.
have to be in that situation since day one. So I could understand where he was, coming from. As far as Alandria, that's my dog. And I definitely can feel for her and I understand where she was coming from. And, I always found myself having to, help out Taylor when it comes to like putting his best foot forward to try and get to know Alandria in different ways. And as far as Alandria, I understood everything she said and she was valid for feeling everything that she felt in that villa. And for me, I was stuck between a rock and a hard place trying to help out both of my closest friends at the time, so.
Because, if I'm understanding correctly,
Can you lower it down a little bit?
Olandria is your good
You know what? I got you. You bought these. Perfect. Girl, that did not hit you. Girl,
Abuse!
Lisa.
Abuse! Ow! Punching me left and right! Abuse! Ow! 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 I gotta get out of here. Ow! Ow! Shit!
Fuck, never mind. I can't get out Drink. Like a Pepsi. We live, y'all.
And
No.
My head hurts.
Me too. My voice feels better though.
Concert was so loud.
Oh, but yeah, they had to though.
I mean, get the fuck up. Get the fuck up.
Taylor's also your good friend. You know how much Olandria is interested in Taylor.
Yeah.
And you know how much something or someone or whatever is influencing Taylor
Right.
to want to be with Olandria. Is that, am I interpreting that correctly?
Yeah, definitely. And I know Alandria definitely really was trying to get to know someone for them. And it sucks that she had to deal with that and get the shit in the stick of that whole entire equation. But, you know, again,
I
Taylor
ain't gonna forget the way she did Jalen. She picked Taylor over Jalen and then she got fucked over. That's her play though.
reached some influences amongst that situation to where he had no choice.
Did other people, or were other people aware of those influences, or kind of were you only aware of it because he told you? Like, did Olandria know about those influences?
Alandria didn't know about those influences, and it sucks because I couldn't tell Alandria about those influences, you know, at that moment in time because it's just the way the world, you know, spans.
It may feel like I'm jumping around a bit, but
Yeah.
I'm honestly just going chronologically.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
That's how I see things better visually
Yeah.
in order.
Yeah.
So, Huda pulled you for a chat after something transpired, and she then divulged to you that she was a mother.
Yeah.
Did you know that she was a mom prior to that?
No.
You did.
Like,
Okay, because some people felt like, oh, maybe he knew already that she
my,
had.
my whole thing is with that,
Wasn't he following her?
it's like when you keep reiterating to everybody, like, you know, I'm a mom, I'm like, women have babies every day. My mom is a single mom, so I can very much understand where you're coming from. But to me, you came in here knowing you had a kid. Like, that it wasn't as big of a secret as I think it should have been made out to be. Like, if you have a kid, like, you stand on 10 toes, like, yeah, I have a kid. If you don't like it, get on. Like,
For real.
do it every day. And for me, that was the big thing. When she told me that right then and there, I'm like, okay, I understand where you're coming from, but and it's hard to date as a single mom, and I completely get that. I watched my mom date like growing up. Like it's a really hard thing to do, especially when you got.
I get that Huda has a kid. So Huda doesn't have custody though, or what? I don't know what's the issue with that. Because I don't ever see her with her kid. I only see her like post about her one time, 2 times out of the month.
Like that's some hard shit right there. Like I can imagine for a man coming in and seeing her 2 snotty ass kids having something to say about everything. So I get the whole gist of it, but for me, I feel like at that moment in time, it should have been a matter of like, yes, I have a kid, and if anybody don't like it, get on. And I would have gave him way more respect for that aspect of it, but I couldn't understand it.
Huda was then on the chopping block. It was between her and Jalen to get sent home.
Yeah.
It was a Jalen and Huda elimination after like that open door challenge.
Yeah.
And then you guys
That was tough.
were then told to stand behind the islander that you wanted to save.
Yeah.
Some people stood behind Jalen.
Yeah.
You stood behind Huda.
Yeah.
And
He did? Oh, because it's Shelly.
Huda looked like she appreciated the fact that you stood behind her.
Yeah.
Reached her arm out to like thank you,
Yeah.
and you kind of just looked at the hand and shook it off.
They said hell no.
What happened there?
First things first, a lot of people were under the impression that it was me standing behind Huda because Shelly was cool with Huda,
Yep.
and that's why I want to go. It was not that. I can guarantee you it wasn't
What was it then?
that. again, a lot of influences play on, Islanders being voted off, a lot of influences. And if I had my way, I would definitely pick Jalen
So
to
what,
stay.
if what I'm understanding
Wow.
is, if there weren't these influences, you would have voted for Jalen to stay instead of Hooded to stay. Was there not a world in which you could have said, "I'm doing what I want to do"?
That's a tricky subject right there. You can stand on business about certain shit, and you not really standing on business at the end of the day, because again, a lot of things you don't have, a big hand on the steering wheel.
So whose hand is on the steering wheel?
My conscience.
Your conscience
My
has a hand on the steering wheel. Okay. When you say your conscience, what does that mean? Your conscience. Okay.
Okay.
So so how many of the decisions are led by your conscience as opposed to by Ace?
Oh, a lot.
Your conscience.
A lot of decisions. I feel like about majority of every time an Islander is being sent home or being voted off.
Did other people have a conscience in the villa?
No.
Oh, a whole lot of people had a conscience in the villa. I feel like everybody got consciences in the villa.
I have a conscience.
Yeah.
Everyone on the production team has a conscience.
Man, people watching this got a conscience.
A conscience.
Why did you though not want to shake her hand?
Because I wanted to make it clear to her it wasn't about her in that moment. Like, it wasn't my choice to, really stand behind you and have your back, because again, it wasn't about you. For me, it was a point to make it that this decision is not about you, and I don't want you to feel any type of...
Also, production told him to pick Huda.
Like, oh yeah, Ace is
Like
on my
optimism
side.
about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You want it to be clear, like,
Exactly.
yo, it's not what it looks like.
At all. And I feel like the day after she was, screaming and cursing, calling everybody else out their name and stuff, or calling Jeremiah out his name, that's the moment in time where I was like, I don't feel this behavior should be rewarded. But
I see.
Again.
So lastly though, on the conscious thing, is it difficult, like, okay, from what I've gleaned about you and your persona on the show, you're like a man who's like confident and stands firm on what he believes. Is it tough for you to have to kind of choose between your conscience and who you are and what you actually want to do as a person? Did that get frustrating for you?
It does. It definitely gets frustrating because, as a man, I feel like all you have is your word, and what you are saying to people matters. And for me, that was what I battled with throughout this entire season. I'd stand on business about how I'm feeling about certain things. I'll call shit like it is. I never played, two sides of the fence. Like, I try and see things from both perspectives, but I just give my opinion when it's asked of me to give my opinion. And when I do, I'm not gonna shy away from it. And it gets tough because, influences try and persuade you out of how you are feeling to, try and cater to certain things and certain people and certain things like that. But it's not as easy as people make it out to be.
When an Islander is getting voted off, and the decision is up to their fellow Islanders, can you kind of walk me through how that goes?
Yeah. So, are you speaking in specific to a certain?
Well, yes, but before I ask that, I wanted to know the context of they say, all right, the decision, one of these Islanders is going home, and it's up to you.
Yeah.
Is what we see that deliberation, is that how it happens?
Right then and there, no. That's not how it happens, but again,
He doesn't want to talk too much.
So it's more to the deliberation than just what we're seeing.
Yeah, it's way more. That, for me, this is the most frustrating part about
Just
it.
be honest, bro. Production tells you what to say.
It's the fact of, it's a lot more that goes down amongst picking an Islander to go home that people are ever going to get to see and get to witness. And that's the tough thing about it. Like, people think it's just made right there in that moment, and we took 2 minutes to talk about it and get somebody home. It's way more than that. Again, this is television at the end of the day. But it is what it is, and I'm able to take it on the chin and be the main person for someone to go home. cool. Like, I'll be able to handle that.
So we see maybe like 2 minutes of deliberation.
Yeah.
How long are you guys actually deliberating for?
Anywhere from like, it could be from around like 30 minutes to an hour. Like,
Really?
Of us just going back and forth,
Just trying to
talking about
chop it up and figure it out.
Yeah.
So that brings me to an elimination. And from an honest perspective, it was one of the main criticisms I had of you
Right.
this season. And that's when Jeremiah got dumped.
Yeah.
I felt like there were other Islanders there, particularly Austin, who maybe had no motion in the villa at the time, who could have very easily gotten voted home
Yeah.
instead of Jeremiah.
Yeah.
At the reunion, they showed a clip that kind of showed you still doubling down on the fact that
Right.
Jeremiah should be the one to go home, and Nick being the one to be like, hey, I think Austin should go home.
Right.
Is what we saw actually how it transpired?
No, not at all. Even at the reunion, they didn't show this. I don't understand why they didn't show it, but you know, again, that's how the world works. But I had said this is not the full clip. You guys are starting this clip at, oh, I think we should send Jeremiah home. We went through the pros and cons of every person, all of us. I said the pros to Pepe Stan. I don't feel he did this, but I feel like he has more pros than cons. Keep Pepe. Went through the cons of Austin. He hasn't did this, he hasn't did that, but I also feel like he hasn't got a chance to get this and get that. Then we went to Jeremiah. After doing all of those things, then they started the clip of, I think we should take Jeremiah home. So it sucks that the full picture didn't get painted right then and there, because again, the reunion is supposed to clear things up. When things aren't being cleared up, that makes me feel some type of way. But regarding the sending home of Jeremiah, a lot of influences are to play, and
Some consciousness.
my conscience,
Your conscience.
my conscience, steps in. But I was man enough to admit to Jeremiah, like, look, bro, I apologize, because again, it's not personal, and I'm trying to get him to understand it's not personal. And we were able to have that conversation of us clearing things up regarding how he got sent home and the differences that we had throughout the season, and we understood where we were both coming from. And actually, me and Jeremiah are super cool, and I hope to do a stream with him. We were just talking about it last night, like, yo, we gonna do some shit, or we can go hoop, we can go do whatever. Like,
Whack.
we super cool now to where we can understand where we're coming from. But I really wanted him to understand that and that experience, that it wasn't an easy decision to just be like, send him home, or I'm hating on what he got going on. It's never been that, trust me.
When I was watching it in real time, I was like, damn, this is some hating shit. Like,
Yeah,
they trying to get
There is.
Jeremiah out the paint because he got motion.
I felt like a hater, and I even said that, and was like, look, this feels like some hating ass shit. Like, respectfully, like.
That was some hating ass shit.
Yeah, it's television.
But the fact that you said it was some hater ass shit, I'm
Yeah.
glad
Nah, that as a fact you said it.
you acknowledge
No,
that,
I
'cause
know it.
Watching it, I'm like, this is some hater
Watching
shit.
it and going through it felt like some hater ass shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
The deliberation on whether or not to send Jeremiah home was between you, Taylor, and Nick.
Yeah.
At the time, Andrina had just come in the villa.
Right.
As a
For real, and he was balling her up.
bombshell.
Right.
I'm wondering, is there a world in which someone wanted to send Jeremiah home
Because of Andrina.
so that they could get to know Andrina?
All I know is what is being shown to me and what is being told to me.
That's true.
Taylor had
Jeremiah was getting all the tens.
came to me on some, yo, Jeremiah is repeating the same cycle again with Andrina. Okay.
How?
Sound like Jeremiah, but I'll see for myself, and then if that's my experience, that's my experience. Boom, I'm seeing a little bit of what Taylor is talking about. I'm like, okay, but again, I have my own situation with Shelly. I'm more focused on that. But again, I do pick all the, stuff going down.
So,
Oh shit.
so let me ask this in a different way.
Yeah.
Did Taylor want to get to know Andrina?
Yeah, for sure. Over.
Taylor wanted to get to know Andrina. Oh no. That's why. Oh shit.
Do you feel like
Taylor wanted to get to know Andrina. So Taylor
Everyone wanted to get
So that's why Taylor told Ace, "Hey man, Jeremiah's doing the same shit with he did with what?"
he was maybe incentivized to vote to send Jeremiah home to
Oh
get
yeah.
him out the paint? That way he could focus
You can try to get at.
and lock in on Andrina.
Wow. Yeah.
I know he definitely really wanted to get to know Andrina. I'll just leave it at that. I know
He really did want to get to know Andrina. Dang.
What was your experience with Andrina?
My experience with Andrina, you know, the first thing that she had mentioned to me off the first introduction of, you know, she had came down the stairs for the Meg Thee Stallion challenge and gave me a hug, and the first thing she said was, well, I know you don't want to be touched because, you know, she
Oh yeah.
already, you know, watched the whole interaction of
For real, you don't want to be touched at all.
And for me, it sucks because it was putting me at a disadvantage to get to know different women amongst the house. And when she had made that comment, I was already off of it right then and there. And I know she still wanted to get to know me as well. You know, she had made me smoothies in the kitchen and shit like that. And was like, yo, we got to chop it up. We got to get to know each other. But again, I already had Shelly at the end of the day. So, and I had made that clear at the fire pit that all I wanted was to talk to was Shelly. So coming out this whole experience and to see that, you know, she was participating in comments of Ace was jealous of what me and Jeremiah had and he wanted to send us home or send me home, or he wanted to send Jeremiah home and he was jealous of what we had, and, you know.
Ace was, come on.
They were haters.
Or Taylor was, at least.
Quote unquote, but respectfully, I wasn't all the way invested into what you were bringing. And don't get me wrong, she's a gorgeous woman. She's super cool, but that wasn't for me.
One thing I found interesting was during your time in the villa, it seemed like you had strong bonds and strong friendships and
Bro kept just ringing along everybody.
relationships.
Yeah.
And now it seems
Not so strong.
to me like amongst the other islanders, people are quick to defend their friends when shit is not actually like, wait a second, that's my man's or that's my homegirl, and that's not really how it happened.
Oh, let's get into it.
Do you feel
Here
that?
we go.
Or is maybe what I'm seeing not accurate?
I feel like throughout my time in the villa, I had catered to a lot of people's, you know, relationships. They would come to me. It wasn't a matter of me going out my way. And sometimes I would go out my way to check on people, but it was always a thing of making sure people are seeing both sides of the situation. Even when they're right, I say, look, you right. You wrong, you wrong. Like, and that was my.
And when do you call yourself out? When do you call Ace out? Who calls Ace out when Ace is wrong? Because you're wrong. Like, 99% of the time, my boy.
The whole thing of making sure I'm helping out everybody throughout this experience, because again, first thing coming into the villa, I wasn't worried about the friendships and all that. I was worried about finding love. But you do develop friendships throughout that entire time.
It's natural.
Exactly. So we're gonna be on the house together for 6 weeks. You're bound to, you know, be friends with some people at some point. So being that's the case, we had all developed a really, really close friendship. And coming out the villa, people see narratives get spent and want to protect their own brand image, which is crazy because I know a lot of things about certain people post-villa,
Say it.
villa, before villa. You would think you would, you know, have my back about certain shit, but
Because if shit hit the fan,
shit hit the fan, man, your shit finna hit the fan. But I'm not that type of person. Be like, I'm about to go air out everybody's shit just to protect my own ass. But it is what it is. But
you have felt that though, that like
Yes.
people haven't had your back in the
For
way
sure.
that other islanders have had.
for
other
sure,
people's back.
and to me, bro, again, even if I look crazy, knowing that person's narrative got spent wild on the show, I'm gonna stand their character. You know what I mean? Like if I met this person, I was able to get to know them, and they said they did this. Look, someone asked me a question, they did this and they did this. That's from my perspective, though. I would expect more people to be like that in this world, but unfortunately, that's not the case because, again, clout comes into play. You want to
Oh, God.
protect everything that you got. Again, I had all that shit, so that's not my main focus. I'm gonna speak on what's real. What's real?
Yeah.
It is what it is. So.
What were your thoughts on Olandria and Nick getting dumped and then being brought back as
That was stupid.
a couple?
It's funny because I know Nick, you know, he had found Alandria attractive day one, and you know when Nick got axed from the villa, and to see that Alandria.
There was like this brewing underlying romance between Nick and Olandria. They really
See,
Nick.
Alandria has been very adamant on telling me what her type is, and like, yo, my type is this. I see myself dating this. You know, I've experienced
Nick's not that type.
dating different, you know, backgrounds and stuff like that. But I knew for a fact Alandria wasn't, you know, going to openly explore that, and I know the same thing about Nick. I know Nick finds Alandria attractive. I know he finds her gorgeous.
So what's it like for you now to come out the villa and like Nick Alandria is like a movement
Yeah.
now? As someone who
React.
the Heart Rate Challenge was a moment that rocked the internet.
Yeah.
it seemed as though we at home did not see the entirety of what happened between you and Huda. There was kissing involved, there was a lap dance involved, there's some
Licking involved.
capacity, and that's all we saw. And then in the reunion, they showed an extended clip and said, hey, this is what actually happened.
Yeah.
Based on what was shown in the reunion,
Yeah.
was that exactly what transpired?
Yes and no. Like, I feel like the clip was sped up a little bit more than what it was made out to be because, again, everybody was looking around for about a good, like, maybe 5, 6, 7 seconds, like, what the hell is going on right now? And don't get me wrong, too, it's, everybody's like, one thing I seen amongst everybody was, why isn't Shelly holding Ace accountable for wilding out in that
Yeah, I
challenge?
was going to ask you that.
Yeah.
Did you feel any, or do you feel any responsibility in that to take accountability for your actions in it?
Yes and no. Like, for sure, amongst that whole entire process, throughout the whole entire season, we have been preaching it's a challenge, it's a challenge, it's a challenge. And that whole entire challenge was nothing different than what every other challenges was just kissing, trying to be passionate, trying to, you know, do sexy ass shit and all that just to get the points or get the win or whatever like that. So really that was the mindset I was coming from when it came to throughout that whole entire challenge. But then nobody can expect her to just lick from the damn near gooch up to the tip like that.
The gooch.
Was crazy as hell to me. You know what I mean? So that's when I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Now, afterwards, everybody's laughing and joking and shit like that. And I'm looking at her and I know she's pissed and that's where I'm like, damn, like this shit has become even more than what it's supposed to be. Like for me, again, I'm looking at it from it's a challenge perspective and I'm seeing my girl pissed. And, you know, obviously, I was pissed too when she had doubled back and did the whole thing with Chris and all that. So, but trust and believe, she held me accountable for like a week straight and was on my ass about that whole entire situation. Y'all ain't see me with a smile for like 4 episodes. Like, it's shit. Basketballs and shit, I understand.
Into it to me.
And I completely get that. I get that. But again, I'm going into it with the mindset of it's a challenge and everybody's just trying to have fun and do
Sure.
that conversation with you the day before that it's not that and it's never going to be anything like that. So the fact that you keep pushing this narrative on that I was on you, it hasn't been like that.
One thing I will challenge you on,
Yeah.
you said you felt uncomfortable
Yeah.
during, you looked into
I
it.
looked into it,
You
and,
was grabbing
and don't
it,
get
you
me
was
wrong, I was smacking basketballs and shit.
You
I
looked
understand.
into it to me.
And I completely get that. I get that. But again, I'm going into it with the mindset of it's a challenge and everybody's just trying to have fun and do that shit.
Sure.
But again, I completely can see how that looks and why I should be held accountable. But trust me, Shelly done went through all the emotions with me with regard to that.
Huda coming out of the villa now is amongst the most popular.
Yeah.
Her follower counts, I think, surpass everyone else who's on the
Damn.
show.
Yeah.
Her fan base is very loyal.
Yeah.
Do you feel as though these friendships that she has outside of the villa with the other islanders are organic?
I feel as our time in the villa, everybody went through the same experience, you know, in some shape or form. As far as dealing with Huda, everybody went through the same experience with that. Everybody was adamant on telling their opinions about her. And to come out and everybody sees just a little bit of clout, you know, new friendships form and new things don't want to get spoke on because they don't want to be attacked by a certain fan base. Me, I don't give a damn, respectfully. So if you're going to speak on something, stand by that in the villa and outside the villa. You don't gotta be friends with anybody to get a, you know, what's the word, alliance going or allegiance going, you know, with certain islanders to step your shit up. Honestly, go put in the work and build your own following. You don't gotta be friendly with somebody to, you know, do all that. But that's just me, respectfully.
Based on what you're saying there, what is your relationship with Huda now?
We don't have a relationship, honestly. It's just certain things I don't respect, and I'm guaranteed there's certain things she probably don't respect from me, and we just see it as that. But
What don't you respect?
I just didn't respect how she was moving, as far as like, you know, either being sneak comments or just, you know, her demeanor, and just, you know, certain things. It's just as a person, I didn't respect it, you know.
I want to talk about your height.
Yeah.
Ah,
You are, how tall are you?
You know, some could argue I'm 6'6", you know, 6'5", you know, things like that. But, you know, I like to keep myself at a humble 5'10".
Okay.
Yeah.
It seemed to be a conversation that
Yeah.
took place a lot
Yeah.
over the course of the season.
Yeah.
it was like discourse. I even saw videos of people trying to calculate your height.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this. They were
Yeah.
like, he took a picture on this train platform and based off the measurements of this and this and this
Yeah.
and this. What was it like coming out and seeing the reaction to
I will say
your height?
my favorite memes are like the little man memes.
When they shrink you?
Yeah, oh my gosh, that shit is comedy. And then I seen one picture, oh my gosh, they had me at the villa and my feet wasn't even touching the floor. Like,
No, I will say there was a time when you guys sat on a couch, right?
Right.
And I think this part of the couch was so long that it looked like your feet were like this.
Right, yeah.
And they weren't touching the floor.
Well, people-
And on that couch, that's when you actually looked short.
and what people don't understand, there's some giant ass furniture. Nah, bro, but like when I see all the memes, I be dying laughing with them. And I save some of them, I send them to the homies and shit like that again. Like my favorite meme is like the one with my feet just hanging off the couch.
Just
like,
dangling.
Yeah. Right, just dangling and, you know, like damn near off an edge at that point. But I love the conversation because when people see me in person, they're like, damn, they did you wrong on the show, yo.
Like you actually are.
Right, exactly. Really, the whole experience taught me how to really form a connection with somebody, go through the ups and downs, and really just take shit head on in relationships. I'm so used to, you know, all right, you're not fucking with me, cool. I'm dipping, you know what I mean, and keep it peak. But this whole entire experience taught me how to grow with somebody, and you know, it's.
And I'm hoping you're gonna be honest with these.
I've been honest since day one.
Honest is the wrong word. You've been honest, but there are certain things that you've withheld and have spoke carefully about. And
Yeah.
these are some questions that I want to give you the opportunity to speak bluntly and openly to the extent that you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Starting with this, Shelly and Olandria were said to have been bullies. That's a
Here we go.
narrative that we saw unfold on the internet. I did not see that whatsoever.
Yeah.
You were in the villa. I
Right.
was not. Did you find Shelly and Olandria to be bullies, particularly to Huda?
I feel like throughout that entire time in the villa, Alandria and Shelly held themselves up like the queens that they are. I feel like the black people on this show found themselves being therapists to other people's.
Nah, they're
couples. And that was the toughest thing for me because, again, a lot of the shit I didn't give a damn about to talk with somebody else. Of course, I'll care. Of course, I want to be there for somebody. But I'm here to find my own connection, respectfully. And being that that's the case, I feel like they were put in a situation to where they had to constantly not lash out because they were going to be looked at crazy. But real world, like, this is some lash out type of shit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And for them, I feel like they did the best that any
They are bullies. Let's be real.
woman or black woman could do, especially like being in that villa, and they held it down. And I would support anything that they do.
So no bullying.
No bullying, none of that.
All right.
Do you feel like the narrative that was painted around you, Olandria, and Shelly specifically,
They're all little groupies, followers, bullies.
the way it was because of your racial identity? Do you feel like because you're a black man, because they're black women,
Thank you. Hey, he's actually saying it.
the edits that you guys got was different than your counterparts that are not black?
How do I say this?
I don't get that.
For me, as a black man, I know I constantly have a target on my back, you know, and I gotta be okay with that. But in this situation, I don't want to play I'm black,
Thank
so
you.
that's why they're painting me this way, because
I respect that.
I don't ever want to move throughout life like that with the whole
W.
victim mentality. But what I
But
will say is it was a lot of consistency amongst, you know, the black couples, amongst, you know,
nah,
black people in general throughout
y'all just were moving so weird.
this whole entire process. And you gotta just take that on the chin. I feel like as black people every day, we take shit on the chin and we just keep the shit moving because that's how we were raised to be. You know, we can't dwell on the past. We can't dwell on what we haven't been given, what we haven't earned, or we have to earn damn near everything in this life. And I feel like we've been doing a good job of trying to keep a cool, level head and not letting anybody getting us bent out of shape, you know.
Olandria revealed on the reunion that she was the target of racial epithets and
But she's friends with Shelly, and Shelly's friends with Sierra, and Sierra's
blatant racism.
Yeah.
She pressed Huda on the fact that Huda did not intervene. Do you feel like Huda could have stopped the racism that
No.
Olandria was receiving?
Coming out the villa, I don't be on social media often. But when I do scroll on social media, certain shit will pop up on my For You page. The blatant racism that Alandria had endured and Shelly had endured was completely out of pocket. And the comment section was nothing but Huda this, Huda that, Huda this, Huda that, Huda this, Huda that. And I feel like that with the shit I've seen, Huda has made it a point to stand on business. I remember she had went on a stream. It popped up on my For You page. She went on a stream and she was misinterpreted about kicking some people out of the room. She made a post immediately that that wasn't the case to clear her name. You just spent 6+ weeks with these women who are facing backlash amongst racist ass people. And the comments are spamming nothing but your name. If I were you, I would make it a point to be like, look, I don't stand for none of that shit. Because you have the capacity to do it. You've done it time and time before.
But you chose not to do it.
And chose not to. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, she didn't post it, so I feel like that's a sucky way to go through our life. My girl had made a post saying, I don't stand for hate, I stand for peace. And same thing with Alandria.
Dude, your girl's stupid too. Shelly's is, she's the worst.
Like, the least Huda could have done was that. She didn't do that. And it's okay, but again, that's where I feel like they were right to separate themselves from Huda and that friendship and just let it be what it is from a distance.
Today, as Ace,
Yeah.
who would you consider
As an ace.
to be your friend from the villa?
Who I consider to be my friend is the people who support me out loud and not
who are
behind
those
closed
people?
doors. Alandria, obviously me and Shelly more than friends, and Taylor.
That's it.
Brian calls to check in on me from time to time
That's it.
to make sure I'm straight, and that's it.
So,
What happened with Nick?
be asking you who your friends are,
Mhm.
and you name Alandria,
Taylor.
and maybe Brian.
Maybe
the
Brian.
glaring omission there is Nick.
What
Yeah.
happened with Nick?
And don't get me wrong, like, me and Nick are cool, but like, to say we are super, super close, like we were in the villa, it's not the case, because again, certain instances, I take a look at it for what it is. Coming out
So thinks Nick is sneak dissing him.
this villa, I seen a lot of people not stand behind what they say and let narratives continue to spin. The people who stood on what exactly happened in the villa,
Go. Go. Okay, go. Bye. Bye. Go.
after having all the conversations said today to when this interview drops,
Oh, shit.
this is who my current people who are close to me. I respect Alandria.
She already knew that. Keep this up.
Yes, of course. Since you, of course, you helped me. Of course. No worries.
I respect Shelly. I respect Jeremiah. I respect Brian, and I respect Taylor. Not super close with everybody like that coming outside the villa because I just see certain
No more Nick.
things on the internet which I don't respect. And I know you probably about to ask me about the whole Nick is not a part of that equation. It's just, again, certain things I don't fuck with. I feel like if you're my friend behind closed doors, you're going to be my friend in public.
Sure.
And again, we all have fun, we joke, we troll. I seen we did a whole tattoo thing, funny as hell. But when it comes to the serious shit regarding my character, that's the things I take serious.
And you feel like he didn't stand up for you and or silence narratives when he had the opportunity.
And I told him that. I told him, I said, yo, I feel like the answer that you gave was just mad PR, and I didn't respect it. And
damn.
Like, well, I'm pretty much over it. So I was like, okay, cool.
He said, I'm
respect it. And he was like, well, I'm pretty much over it. So I was like, okay, cool.
He said, I'm pretty much over it?
Yeah, I'm pretty much over the whole thing. Like, so like for me.
Damn.
This is.
Nick and Ace aren't friends.
Nick and Ace?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He said they're like that. So I guess that Nick said that, or no, Ace said that he didn't like how Nick was talking about him outside the villa. And then I guess he went up to him and said, hey, bro, like, when they asked you a question about me, I felt like your answer was, like, super PR. And he said, what did he say you said?
He said, I'm pretty much over it?
Yeah.
He said, I'm pretty much over it. And he was like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm pretty much over it. He's like, okay. So I guess they're not cool. He said the only people he's kind of cool with is Brian, Taylor, Alondria, and obviously Shelly. That's crazy.
I'm pretty much over the whole thing. Like, so like for me, this is my life, respectfully.
Right. It's not something for you to just be over when I'm receiving these narratives and it's then going to dictate what my future looks like. And he's just over it.
Yeah.
With that being said, do you feel like Olandria and Nick's relationship is real?
Nick and Alondria's relationship is real. He's like, he just stayed quiet.
Is that tough for you because Olandria is someone that you consider to be a close friend?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's tough for me because, again, she just came out here for Shelly's birthday, and we all spent a time together at the club, and we all kicking and shit like that. So I have a lot of respect for Olandria. But, again, from the last conversation that I've had with, Nick, it was a matter of it's not a romantic spark. They just, you know what I'm saying? They find each other attractive.
Nick and Olandria's relationship, you've expressed in silence, you've expressed your opinions on that. Do you think that the other relationships that have come from Love Island are real?
Yeah, Taylor and Clark. I know that's for sure real.
What about Maya and Brian?
And the other ones, not so much, or? Do you think people are aware of the benefits to being in a relationship coming out of
100%. 100%. I feel like when people come out this villa and they see, a certain community rocking behind, certain, ships, they're like, okay, let's take advantage of that type of thing. And it's just like, you're gonna face yourself in a world of problems, i.e. breaking up, i.e. Arguments, i.e. now you got to put on the front for the public like you rock with your partner still and you want to go explore other people in real life, you know what I mean? So that's on them that they're going to have to face at the end of the day, but I don't move like that, and that's why I was very intentional with my time in the villa because I knew, obviously coming outside, people are going to have opinions on relationships, so I'm going to be very, very, very intentional behind finding this relationship.
Coming out of the villa now, you and Shelly seem to be in a very happy situation.
Yeah.
Is it safe to call that a relationship? Is that your girlfriend?
Not yet. But the thing is silly. And on top of that, as far as me asking her to be my girlfriend, I've never been pressed by no nigga, never been pressed by any woman in his life to to do something I don't want to do, unless we talk about my time in this experience. You know what I mean? But
unless your conscience was
unless my
talking.
conscience, you know what I mean, was talking. But that's just been my MO. So it's God has planned for me. That's what I want to do, and whatever my path aligns with him.
Honey, you need water? You need water?
Yeah.
Keep going. You literally told me don't do that. Can you stop that, please? Everybody around your room, respectfully.
I don't regret my experience with Shelly. That's what I don't regret, is learning how to date someone outside of social media, ups and downs, things like that. I don't regret that portion of it. Everything else, 1,000%.
Is it, why?
Because for me, I wanted to go into this experience of, again, for me, throughout this whole entire experience, I didn't look at this as some type of show to go on. I look at this as a dating experience. And sometimes you forget while you out.
Bro was playing it like a show, though. Come on now.
In Fiji, it's a show. And they try and get you to get out that mindset of what's going on back home, what's going on in this thing. Because at the end of the day, the chick has to be entertained. I didn't sign up for the entertainment portion of it. I signed up to get to know someone full through and through. And to come out this experience and see, again, that wasn't the main focus. It was mainly focused on drama, and I felt like that being in there. I said, like, why do I always feel like I'm amongst this drama shit? Like, I don't even care enough to be in this conversation. I don't even care enough to talk about someone else. But again, a lot of influences come to play, and when that's the case, I don't feel this is authentic to me. And I've been authentic since day one coming into there. I'm gonna be unapologetically me throughout this whole entire experience. And can't nobody in that villa who was actually there say Ace was faking it for this, Ace was faking it for that, because they know my character. I have no problems apologizing to people. I have no problem standing on business, admitting, like, look, I was wrong about this, and this is how shit should go now. I have no problem speaking my mind. That's all I'm saying. I don't have no problem speaking on the real. And it seems like America had a problem with that. You know, me just speaking on what it is.
Nah, bro. America had the way you were moving. It's the way you were speaking your mind, bro.
Fuck them. It's like, when they asked me to come on this show, they knew everything that they were getting. They were getting a confident person who stands on business and expresses himself very clear and concise.
Cocky.
And who's on here for the right reasons. Because you couldn't claim that I was on here for anything else. Looking at my portfolio.
Right.
You can't. So being that that's the case, to see coming out that it was the complete opposite of my character, knowing that you asked me to be here, I feel some type of way. You know, especially when, you know, I'm the one helping with the chats. I'm the one getting everybody excited for challenges. I'm the one ringleading around this. You know what I mean? Like that hurts. And I'm facing a little bit of, you know, anxiety every single day, trying to make sure my family is straight. Damn about me, making sure they're straight. They get threats and emails at work and messages and shit that they don't deserve, that they didn't sign up for.
Right.
I signed up for this knowing what possibly could be the outcome, and I was okay with it. Like, but it's still not to say I'm not a human at the end of the day. Like, certain shit will affect me, but that's just adds to my testimony and who I am as a person. So I'm with all the growth throughout this experience.
I just want to let you know, like, objectively, I feel for you.
Thank you.
Whenever you say an opinion, 50% of the world is going to disagree with you off the rip.
And I'm okay with that.
And so even after watching this, like, some people may still feel like, I still don't
Yeah, I still don't fuck with you, bro.
fuck with them.
Agreed.
I don't.
And that's realistic to happen, but
that's life though, Speedy.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me,
He's just like a cocky ass dude. Like, bro literally has a nickname tatted on. Like, bro is one cocky ass dude.
I can state my opinion. Just let me be able to.
It's one thing to be confident. It's another thing to be cocky.
Or that's life, and I understand that, and I'm grateful that I'm here and throughout this right now, this interview with you, that the full thing is going to be told.
Sure.
That's all I.
And you still look like a cock, bro.
That's for is let the full picture be shown so people can understand.
What? Damn, my papaya and Brian officially are done.
Tell him. Say we just got news from the Joseph Gomez, Maya, Papaya, and Brian are no longer together.
Damn, that was quick.
It doesn't take drinking the whole ocean to know it's salty, bitch.
Dang, I feel bad for her now.
Yo, low key. Kind of sounds like a little diss to Brian though. It's basically saying that he's salty.
Well, honestly, never really looked too into her.
Too into what?
Too into Maya. Dang. It's official. That was quick. Oh wow, he disabled his comments. Brian. Yeah. Damn, and I like Brian. It's crazy. Didn't he just say that his mom met her and all this bullshit?
He's giving hoe.
He is giving whole vibes. Brian is giving whole vibes. Sierra had a meet and greet, only 2 people popped up.
coming from. If you disagree, completely understand.
Right.
Everybody has assholes.
I
Everybody has
guess
opinions.
Shelly maybe and
It is what
Ace
it is,
should have
you
won.
know what I mean? So,
But you're just saying, if you're gonna judge me, watch the full thing.
right.
And if you still don't agree with me, then fine.
That's
at least it
cool.
was a fair observation. But at least give me a fair shake.
And I feel like I got my fair shake
Yeah.
amongst 4
I'm giving his fair shake.
fans, especially when narratives are still being pushed, you know, by my fellow Islanders when they didn't have that energy when I was there.
That's what I don't like about this guy, bro. Like quit with that.
That's my feelings. But again, that's life. That's people. Cloud is a motherfucker. And me, that's been my whole personality. I ain't never been an internet ass nigga, respectfully. Like, I've been a person.
He's never been an internet but he has 2 million followers. Like, respectfully, bro, like, this guy's just... I don't like this guy at all anymore. What do you mean?
Who's does social media, but that's not my personality.
Oh, but that's not you. But you do social media.
And when you see me in real life, come holler at me. I'm never,
Bro, I will holler at, bro, I swear, I would love to see you in real life because I got a lot to say to you in your face. Like, I would love to say something. Ooh, bro. Ooh, you're lucky, bro. You're lucky, bro. I will literally say it straight to your face.
I've been a person who's like on some ego shit. Like,
He is on some ego shit, too.
everybody can say whoever's met me, I ask them what their name is. Nice to meet you. Tell me about yourself. Like, we have real conversations on
Well, I will have a real conversation with you and about your type of character and what type of character you are and what kind of person you're portraying yourself to be. Like, you are one of the worst people, and you trying to portray yourself to be like, oh, I'm this guy that stands up for everything, stands up for everybody. I'm the one that checks up on, bro. No, you're not. You're fake. You're fake as fuck.
if you want to. I've never been a person who's let quote unquote clout get to my head or let fame get to my head, because that's just not me. Like, the internet can love me tomorrow and hate me the very next day, and I'm walking testimony of that. I feel like my entire life before the Villa, everybody just forgot everything that I've done. Go check my portfolio and what I've done. And that shit is for free, out the kindness of my heart, because I just love doing what I do. When that is just excused and saying Ace is a hater, Ace is this, Ace is a ringleader, Ace is a bitch.
He is.
Never fuck with Ace and yada, yada, yada. And I only got my own Islanders backing me up, knowing that wasn't the
Bro's just not used to the hate.
case there. Hurts my feelings. But again, it's back to real life. Excuse the Hollywood shit, and I'm gonna be me regardless, and I will for sure not let my fate be determined by someone else's hands.
Damn.
And that's gonna be is what it is.
That's real.
Nah, bro, like, nah.
That was a word right there.
Yeah.
Ace, I appreciate you, man.
Nah,
Congrats.
Thank you, Speedy. I appreciate you.
Best of
man.
luck. I'm glad we got to do this. You said you wanted your full story to get told. This is that opportunity. So I hope you feel good about, everything that you got to get off. And I'm glad you came and sat down with us instead of going some other places.
Yeah. They're gonna have to pay me now.
Y'all.
Uh-oh.
Pussy, fuck you, dumb WestJet, fuck you, bitch made pussy, fuck you, dumb ass idiot. Dumb ass idiot, bitch made, bitch, fuck you, stupid
shit.
fucking dumb motherfucker. I hate you. I hate this fucking man. He's a piece of shit. And he makes me really mad. Calls me a fucking Genshin player every fucking day. Fuck WestJet, guys. This guy's so mean.
They also hated Jesus for speaking the truth. Introducing Tectoad, full-time Genshin Impact player and alleged streamer. Recently, Tectoad got banned on Twitch, and let's check out the reason.
We are no longer called like this is why we need to bring the word back.
It never left for a real one like me.
Is because when the internet says we can't say retard, we can't say so now we're gonna call you a pedophile. Now we're gonna call you a rapist. Now we're gonna call you an abuser.
Stop swearing. You got me feeling like baby no money with all this.
Over just the last 6 months, the job market.
New users can.
Hello, nice to meet you. Take a seat. Welcome to the stew.
This week, I talked to the steamiest couple from the biggest reality show of the summer, from Love Island, USA.
That was fast.
Wild card.
Next.
I choose red.
Donation.
Wild card. I choose red.
Donation. Anything.
Okay, I think I have something. Uno reverse.
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Out of my face. Don't touch our fucking shit, please. You scammed them. They're trying to charge you per minute. Per minute, that's a scam.
That's motherfucker. Just police money.
Come. I have a long-range weapon now.
You got a license to be here.
You got a license to keep yapping or what?
Stupid nigga.
You're gonna knock me the fuck out. For what? For following people. Don't
Uh-oh.
do it, buddy. Not worth going back.
Welcome to
Now we're going.
New York, the city of hustlers and scammers. But what is the difference between an honest hustler trying to make a buck and a filthy scammer finessing naive tourists trying to enjoy their 1 week off of work? As I walked to Times Square, I accidentally stumbled upon a rather creative scam that relies upon you being an apologetic little bitch.
Maybe. I'm just taking a look. I like that Scarface one. Okay.
You did the photo, you charge money.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what? You can't take a pic. I'm gonna take a picture one day.
I see. I didn't see that.
Oh, no photo.
I'm not gonna delete it, but I get it.
Oh, you wanna buy it?
No. I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm just not gonna go into my phone right now. As a principal.
No. Man, you have to delete it.
Delete it, please.
Whoa.
Run.
Delete it.
Get away from me. We're in public.
Yeah, public. This
Wait.
public.
Yeah.
This public. No, this is you.
This is
Wait, what?
the United States of America.
This one, no.
Yes, we're literally in public.
Man, you look like pussy.
I look like pussy?
Yeah.
All right, bye-bye. That old granny ass bitch was trying to throw hands.
And then I found this 100% legit Apple authorized reseller selling 100% real Apple products
Fake AirPods
in the corner of the street.
Is the Pro, like sound canceling? Are they real? Can I hold them? They're like legit though?
Yeah.
How much?
150. That's price. That guys, Apple Watch.
They're not like stolen or anything? I'm not gonna get like arrested for buying these or anything? They're not like stolen serial number or anything? No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, sorry, 200.
They're 200 now?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Damn. Apple, is it?
Yeah, it's a fun video.
Is it legit?
Yeah.
How much?
100.
100?
It's 200 in the store. From Apple, we sell half.
Can I see it back?
Yeah. We sell the half price, 100.
Do you have like a sample box that's open?
No, I only have new. But you can open it if you want.
Are you gonna charge me if I open it?
No.
Yes.
You want to buy?
Well, maybe, but I want to know if they're real.
They real, look it.
It looks kind of real. How'd you get it so cheap?
Yeah, half price. They buy for the credit card. You know, some people, they...
I see.
They give people like 5 piece, 3 piece, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they're fake, we can go maybe a different price.
Give me 140, no problem.
Take your money. No problem.
Do you have like a sample that I could see?
They are real.
You open your currency, no problem. That's price. That's all. Apple Watch.
I'm just trying to figure out if they're legit. That's what I'm saying.
You know how much?
Are they like real? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have like receipt from Apple Store? Let's try to connect.
You can connect it, no problem.
Let's see. They're not showing up. They'd show up as the AirPods if they were legit.
Because you don't connect it for the ball, you know. Sometimes they connect it for this one, this machine.
Yeah.
You see here.
I'm a little bit sussed out. I feel like it's too good to be true. You feel me? I'm like,
no, bro, it's a good price. No, 80.
but why so cheap? Why so cheap?
Bro, I told you, bro.
But where you get them? Where you get them?
From Apple.
You get them from Apple?
Yeah, man, not me.
Who gets them from Apple?
The other people. Bro, I can't talk to you. That's it, bro. You wanna buy
$100, $100. I'm just trying to make sure it's legit.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's not your business, man.
Oh man.
Follow my time. If you wanna buy. That's it.
Then I'm probably gonna skip.
Give me 80.
I'm probably gonna skip them, man. Now I'm like,
How much you wanna give me?
man, but where did you get them? That's my question.
Okay, go ahead. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Damn.
Now he's mad.
Get the fuck out of here.
Why you being like that? My boy, I just want to know where. Whoa. Don't spit at me though. Oh, we're good. You guys in the market for some AirPods?
We got no money.
I'm kidding. Oh shit. I'm so sorry. He's coming at me. No.
That dude's mad.
No. For your time. Wild card. I choose red.
A wild card.
Oh shit. All right, we gotta go. You guys raise some money for gun violence?
Racism, gun violence, homeless children.
Racism?
We just talked to him, remember?
Racism too? You guys raise some money? I got a donation then.
We just talked to him, remember?
Uno reverse. Oh, plus.
Uno reverse plus 4.
Plus 4. How much does it cost to stop racism?
How much?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a couple $1 million, man.
What is the hustle we're doing today?
My music.
For the donations?
Yeah, just my music, though. I promote my music. That's how I promote my music, you know?
Okay, fair.
Two-turn, man, you know?
You don't have
what?
to donate. But
I said, Sister youngin' in this game trying to make green. Strapped up with gun silencers and beams.
Next.
Yeah. At the US.
yeah, it's US.
The love.
I mean, I want love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Oh, sorry.
Anything?
Okay, sorry. Oh, you're giving me for free?
Yeah. Donation. Anything?
Okay, sorry.
Uh-oh.
Uno reverse. Okay, thank you. I have a question though. For monk, is it against monk Buddhist order to take money?
After getting reverse Uno'd, he continued on in the legacy of the enlightened Buddha and began to successfully collect donations to support his temple back home.
I just want to see where he goes.
So I told my cameraman Pasha to get...
Why is he just following him?
Okay.
We followed him around for a while as a public shaming ritual. He stopped asking for donations and fled underground all...
Okay.
A picture?
Stalking the monk into submission, I began hunting for the notorious bike
Stalking the
scam,
monk.
where they charge you anywhere from $7 to $10 per minute. And you wouldn't know this unless you looked at the fine print of their often hidden signs. They also emotionally guilt trip you into believing they're pedaling their asses off, when in reality, their motorized bikes don't even require you to pedal them.
Let's see if the biker homies will disclose their price up front. How much to go to like the park?
Our price is here. Check the price.
Right here? $9 a minute? Damn.
Do you want me to give you a tour in Central Park or no?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, I can do it 1 hour tour and then I can do it 150. It's fine?
For $150 US dollars?
Well, we are.
I'm like, oh, damn, that's a good grind you guys got going here. This is a good business model. How much you guys make a day? Like $2 grand?
Sometimes.
That's badass. You guys hiring?
No.
And I stumbled upon these two women who just finished what they thought was a $9 ride.
How much is it?
This is $9 per minute just here.
But it was a 9-minute ride, right?
Yeah, 9.
So it's $73 total? Oh, you guys owe him $73?
Yeah, just 7
Oh, you scammed them.
Damn.
They're trying to charge you per minute.
per minute just here. 899.
That's a scam. You scammed them. You scammed them. Did you tell me? Nervous.
Well.
I have a long-range weapon now. You're scamming these poor ladies and you know it. You're scamming them. This is blood money. He's gonna hit a motorized bike. He really didn't know. They escaped. Negotiate the price beforehand. This is some bullshit though. How much, my boy?
I saw everything. I understand what's happened over there. I think that he's trying to trick with you, like, you know, he doesn't expect.
Paying per minute?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's transparency.
Yeah, that's a kind of like, you know, surprise. Nobody like right now.
So it's like buyer beware. If you don't read the sign, you get fucked.
The official ferry to the Statue of Liberty, you'll immediately be swarmed by hordes of face-tatted thugs in bright-colored vests trying to sell you a ferry ride. The only catch is, they often charge you double the city's price, only take you around the Statue of Liberty and not on it, while telling customers the city's cruise takes 4 hours, while theirs only takes 2. They're known to overcharge customers' credit cards, tell people they're hired by the city and that the official city ferry is closed, block off the pathway allowing you to buy a ticket from the city, and are notorious for using intimidation, aggression, and violence into selling tickets for double the city's price, only to shove you into a line for a bus that then takes you to a line for a crappy, overcrowded boat that ultimately takes you 4+ hours to boat around the Statue of Liberty. Some of these reviews are insane, but after recent news coverage, they've gotten smarter and make sure to tell you they can only take you around the island, but they still employ many of their shady, illegal, aggressive, and manipulative tactics on unsuspecting and often foreign tourists. The city even put up a sign to warn tourists of these scammers.
Scam alert.
Gave up after the scammer thugs apparently destroyed them. But real quick, in this era of media corruption and bias, it's tough to know what's fake news. Free. Thanks, Trader.
1 hour, 15 minutes to one.
Okay. Is it to get to Statue of Liberty?
So you see where the bus is?
Yeah.
Once you get the ticket, you get access to a free shuttle bus. This shuttle bus will take you to the boat and takes you on the tour for 1 hour, 15 minutes. It takes you to Statue of Liberty, Brooklyn Beach, and around here.
Okay, can you show me a little bit more?
They claim theirs is only 2 hours long, while the city's takes 4 hours long, and for this free shuttle as some sort of false perk.
Is it cheaper then?
No, on the island it's cheap. It's $32.50 online.
You're not going inside and be walking around. If you do 3 hours, it costs $32.50. If you do the 1 hour, it costs $49. It costs more than 1 hour because you're going to see more.
Oh, it costs more to do, but you see more stuff. The path is big. Okay, and you guys are like legit, like the city salesman people, or?
Yeah, we are. Everybody's legit here, my brother.
What you want to do, the 1 hour express, or you want to get off on the bay?
You tell me.
Go straight to Wilco. Then you take him to do the 1 hour. I'm not taking him to do the 1 hour. Go buy his ticket.
Damn, she's got attitude.
Yeah, I do, and I also know the setup. Don't.
The setup? She tweaking, she geeking. Okay,
She's
damn.
tweaking.
All right, well, you guys doing the bus stuff? Is this the ferry?
Talk to one of them. I don't work with them.
Oh, you're not a
he doesn't like you.
ticket agent?
What are you out here doing, a documentary or something? You keep asking everybody the same question.
Oh shit, he knows. How does he know?
Around and around and around, like you're asking every.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get a good price.
Just recording people and doing what you're doing. And just please have a good day.
All right, my man. Good to meet you, though.
Doing our job. Have a good day.
Oh, okay.
When you get off the boat, you go down. Okay.
And that's free?
That's no, the free ferry goes free island.
Okay.
They're all mad. They're getting exposed.
I'm price hunting. I'm poor. Damn. I'm chilling. I'm walking here. Damn.
I'm walking here, eh?
Get paid off us. We don't want to give you views.
What is on? You hear us?
Huh?
You're
We don't
recording.
want to give you for your TikTok. Go find someone else
For
to
your
play.
TikTok.
Red and blue? Are you guys the same
So we all
team?
work
Or?
for the same people, just
Yeah.
different teams.
And that's the city or what?
We work for the city, yeah. We're
No, they
contracted
don't.
by the city to be able to sell these tickets. Because there's
Use the city contractors.
Right, basically, yeah. So we get our
Damn, okay,
LLCs,
cool,
and then
yeah.
we get the contracts from the cities and
Okay.
these companies, and then they provide us with the machines and everything. That's how we do it.
Like, what you mean? Like, we're not official. We don't work
Like city, I guess, officials.
we don't work for the government or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Only thing we have a boat that goes around the side.
All right, and you guys give like different prices?
Yeah, there's a discount. It depends.
But why the hell would anyone pay double the price to go on a ferry that doesn't even take them on the Statue of Liberty Island?
So you do technically get a product for what you paid for, but they put you on a bus to New Jersey, put you on a rickety boat that goes a circle on the Hudson.
Oh, okay.
And they charge you like $100 a person.
And is that ferry like a yacht, like they say it is?
It's not a yacht, it's like this long thing with like an upper deck, and it's kind of rusty.
And what would be the price of like the legit admission right here?
$25.50.
They're like
wow.
30, 40, 50, 60.
Well, they're instructed to lie.
Okay, so don't buy from them. They're pretty pushy though.
Yeah, they put a visitor in a headlock the other day.
What did the visitor do?
Refused to
to buy the ticket?
Yeah. They try to stop people from entering Battery Park. There's only 3 entrances to the park, and they control 2 of them.
So they kind of control like choke points, right?
Yeah, because our jurisdiction only extends this far, like to the dock and then to the island.
Why don't you put these signs like all the way out there?
Because then they rip them apart.
Oh, they destroy them?
Yeah. The cities put signs out too, but they take them down. Because we're the feds right now, our budget for signs has been removed. It is 0 right now.
So would you say some of them are scams, or they're all more or less a scam by virtue of like lying through omission, or?
Some of them are straight up scams, as in they are illegal. Some of them are intentionally misleading, but technically legitimate businesses. The last I heard, at least the one that takes you to New Jersey, they don't really get you close to the statue. They just go up and down the Hudson around Midtown. It's 25 minutes. There's a ferry every 25 minutes.
Oh, so I wouldn't be stuck on there for 4 hours like they say.
No.
Oh, so they're straight bullshitting on that end too.
Yes.
Like that's their main selling point is speed. See, I'm trying to figure out why so many people are getting on the bus then. It doesn't even make any sense. To double the price.
Less critical thinking that is.
Okay.
Every
Okay, now I'm pissed.
ferries every 20 minutes.
Now I'm pissed they've lied to me. You get stuck there for 4 hours? You can't like take a ferry every 30 minutes off? No? So if I get that one, I'm stuck for 4 hours. I cannot leave.
I have more idea on this one.
On this one, because you don't work for that one.
But with cops everywhere, why does the city let these scammers set up shop and illegally sell their ferry experience everywhere outside the park?
Are those guys scammers out there? Semantics?
I can't say all of them are scammers, but they're not supposed to be selling on parks property without the proper permit. Some of them have vendor's license, but it's not for parks property. They are providing a service, but then some of them do bend the truth a little bit. Some of them do scam.
Gray area of like, some of them are finessers, some of them are not.
Some of them are legit selling you that service that you're looking for, which is going around. But
Sure.
Some of them are bending it.
But they're allowed to be on park.
Like they can walk around.
I see.
But can't sell on park.
But they do.
Yeah, that's why we.
I see. Okay. If I joke around with them, be like, hey, yo, you a scammer or what? Will they throw hands?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't do that?
No. Why would
you know, just check them.
I don't like to incite for no reason. Like I understand.
Well, incite is
It was time to restore harmony to the park.
The show, you got Team Purple right there. You got Team Red. Team Blue's all the way over there. Warning.
Actually angle it the other way?
Yeah, please. Like this?
One side.
They're all pissed already.
And it says it on the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this way as well. So when they come in.
Interestingly, as soon as the camera and scam sign popped up, some of them began advertising my sign.
Please read this sign.
Mind you, this is like Apple referring their customers to Samsung. Why would they do this? Well, I'll let you be the judge of that. But I got curious to know, how long could these guys keep up their nice guy act? So real quick.
I'd be like, go on down the road, you fuck.
Another ad.
I'm a grower, not a shower, I'll be honest, but fair enough. Who put the signs up?
The people that own this property. That's their property.
That's the federal government.
That's their property.
So the feds just made this up? The feds made it up? The feds made it up.
Obviously.
Nothing. Nothing.
We would be in jail.
Half the guys are.
Someone with a little dick. We're flattered.
I'm a grower, not a shower, I'll be honest, but fair enough. Here's the thing though, half these guys were telling me they worked for the city yesterday, they don't. And that's not to say.
Nobody wants.
Some of those purple sweats.
They ain't got nothing to do with us.
Go down there.
Oh, so you guys are a
Oh,
different
they're pissed. Uh-oh, that guy's taking the sign.
different faction? hey! He's moving the sign. Where are you gonna take the sign, my boy? Where are you taking the sign, my boy? I'm gonna bring it back. Why are you moving the sign if it's not revealing anything? I'm confused. Why though? Why? Nah, we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back. If it's not revealing anything, I'm bringing it back. So they strategically chokehold the only place you can walk. You come straight out the subway, they're here. Straight out that subway, they're there. Straight out that subway, they're there. They chokehold the whole environment. They don't want you to read the sign.
I'm telling them to read the sign.
You were moving the sign.
Don't make no sense.
Okay, then let it be. Then let it be. I'm not promoting dubs. You're scamming.
You're saying we're scamming. That means it's a fake boat, a fake ticket.
Sure.
It's not real.
All right, there are some scammers out here.
Stop lying. This is a false app.
So the federal government put up false advertising.
Oh no.
Actually put it that way so the people that
This
are
is
coming
funny.
that way can see it, and
Okay.
everybody can see it as well. I don't care what.
Okay, respect. Read the sign. Now they're forced to acknowledge the truth. Go over there, it's half the price, and you can get on and off every 30 minutes. Yeah, go over there. Keep walking that way, all the way over there. You can get the official ticket online. You don't have to buy from them.
Just take the YouTube channel, move it over.
Why are you tweaking though, if this isn't the truth? Go
Easy,
suck
you're ruining our business. Fuck.
dick. Come on now. It's not fully illegitimate per se, but there's an official means to get on the island if you guys are trying to get on the island. How you doing, man? Appreciate you, bro.
Say you're gonna find out everything about you.
Fine, come kill me. Find my address, I guess. Just capture. Then why would you need to find out everything about me? Has nothing to do with being black. You're crazy, bro. Black, white, brown, orange has nothing to do with color. When someone says, I'm gonna find out everything about you, it implies a little bit of a murderous or violent intent. You can get on and off the trolley over there. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Why are you touching me?
Job right.
Why you
don't interrupt me when I'm doing
Don't touch
my
me.
thing. Don't interrupt.
Don't touch me.
The last time I'm gonna tell you.
What are you gonna do?
Last time I'm gonna tell you. Because I'm gonna do my job right, and I'm gonna do it right here in front of you on your YouTube channel. But you
Straight up.
Get views off of this bullshit.
Don't touch the sign. He says if I interrupt him again, he's gonna do some. So I just want to let you know, I'm not touching the guy. All right. Read the sign. Read the sign.
Read the sign.
Read the sign. There we go. Read the sign. It shouldn't make them so upset. Read the sign. There we go. He's joining in. This is good.
Super, bro. Fake.
What's fake about me? What's fake about me?
Fake.
What's fake?
Fake.
Work here?
No, I don't work here. This is a sign made by the federal government. You go all the way over there, you can get your ticket for 25 bucks. Apparently there's a ferry on and off every 25, 30 minutes, half the price of these guys. You don't have to buy from them if you want to go on to the Statue of Liberty.
She's pissed.
What's up, girl?
Yeah, he acted like he was gonna buy a ticket. What are you doing?
I'm raising a little public.
Oh, they used to wear.
But
They're off now.
Now we're making friends out here, so we're just holding the sign out here, chilling. If it doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What about those who don't want to go on the island? I'm asking a serious.
Oh no, that's a valid question. I think everyone. No, 100%. Everyone has full authority to spend their money however they want.
So can I ask you how long you been out here? For a week? 2 days?
Like 5 minutes.
Just today?
Yeah, just today. Here, you keep getting in front of the sign. I'm just gonna move it a little bit.
So it's a public
Now
place that can still
Oh no! All right, no.
So it is
Dang,
public
you are.
property and the police are right here. We are able to ask questions.
And I'm able to not answer. You know how the First Amendment works?
So then I don't have to move in front of the sign then?
100%, my girl.
Of course.
You
So
are
I'm
a
just
smart
asking
cookie.
A simple question.
Want to dab me up?
I just want to know.
All right.
The area? I can lick my ass too. I see what's funny. Let me ask your name. What's your name?
John Doe.
John Doe.
I would.
You can't touch the camera.
Chilling, all right? Why are you so defensive? Straight than her life.
Camera, you're supposed to be.
The victim. You're the victim. You're crazy.
Uh-oh.
Any other you. She was gonna hit the camera. No, you guys were gonna
Do is you had the right to film. You're purposely doing it because you don't get a rise out of them.
So wait, do you prevent crime or do you write reports after it's happened?
Prevent crime when you're causing it.
Weirdo isn't a crime. All right, then arrest me for the crime I've committed. Being a weirdo isn't a crime. She was following him around, my friend and cameraman. You're gonna knock me the out. For what? Don't do it, buddy. Not worth going back. Not worth going back. You're crazy. I'm in public. First Amendment, baby. Welcome to America.
If these guys weren't scamming, then why are they so pissed off? And why would the federal government make these signs in the first place?
It's causing too many people to stop him. Excuse me, miss?
You got a license to be here.
You got a license to keep yapping or what?
Yeah, I got
You got a license to keep yapping.
You got a license.
You fuck out of stupid nigga.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm from your mother.
You're from my mother? Get the fuck out of here. You're not from my mother, you dumbass. Yeah.
If you're a scammer, do know well, okay?
Go straight, take a right, go basically into the park. If you want to go faster out, just go straight in there. It'll lead you to the harbor. You can go to the official vendor.
Oh, okay. We try scammers.
Let's get out the park.
All right, bitch, keep walking. Brother, God forbid a guy chills near a sign. This almost comes without saying, but of course I
Scammer King right
feel the
here.
need to say it. We're on public property, public sidewalk, First Amendment expression. We're minding our own business. They do not. I gotta hire security now? You gonna kill me or what? I gotta hire security now.
Why you filming me, bitch?
First Amendment, just relax. Just, come on, just relax, Granny. Just relax. Damn. Fuck. Ew.
I'll be your granny, bitch.
Oh, fuck. Here we go. What do you gotta say?
What you got to say?
I'm not gonna fight you, Granny. Calm down.
I'm not gonna fight you, Granny.
You wish your granny looked like this mother.
Yeah, you sexy. Am I exposing a scam? I don't know. They're getting extremely defensive of the sign. If this sign doesn't apply to you, why would you freak out, start throwing the finger, start attacking someone? It's a great question. There we go.
Yo, this is fun.
Took a picture, we're spreading awareness.
Defeated, the finessers took a moment to cool down with the smoke break as they plotted my demise.
They've basically given up. So typically you'd see them selling you the ticket. I think they're giving up.
For the ferry? Yes. Which one do you want to do? The one which we're on the island? On the island. Right here.
Okay, my man. He is honest. I like this guy.
I'm always on.
He's always honest and never violent. Okay, we've created peace with one sign and it not getting torn down and some police enforcement of non-violence.
gentlemen, welcome to Battery Park. Welcome. Welcome, folks, to Battery Park. Let's go.
Let's go, Battery Park! What is going on?
What's going on? What's your name, buddy? Tell us your name.
Oh, he's
Tell us
trying
your
to
name,
deafen
buddy.
me.
What's your name?
You're definitely not
What's your name, buddy? What's your name?
He's got a microphone now.
What's your YouTube channel? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Get out of my face.
What's your name?
Get this
What's
shit
your
out of my
name?
face. This is definitely like some form of something. Huh? True, true. You just can't get it on me. What? A megaphone straight to my fucking face? Come on. That's low. We'll say the moment these cameras turn off and these guys leave, we would get absolutely fucked.
Oh, for sure.
I'm telling them they'll take you around the 4-hour experience. We do an hour. Everyone's like, we don't have 4 hours. And just, that's not true.
It's not.
But a lot. All I'm saying is there are other options. There's an official vendor to get on the island, and it doesn't have to last for 4 hours.
That you can do is
And
get
it
on the
doesn't
island with
have
you
to
then.
take 4 hours, because a lot of people are time crunched on their limited time here in New York. Which, right?
Yeah, no,
All right.
of course.
Like, comment, subscribe, go to KG. I don't know this guy's funny.
Is there a gun? Is there a gun in that? Do not reach in that center console again. I'm gonna have you step out of the car for me right now. Okay? Take the seatbelt out. Take the seatbelt off.
What are you
Out of the car. Out of the car. I think there was a 32 in the center console. Out of the car. Hands behind your back. Put them behind your back.
When officers show up at a local school after reports of a man refusing to leave, they had no idea how.
The creep.
When was the last time you took a break?
Let's see every nipple, baby. Oh, you know what?
Tonight, the Trump administration is cracking down on cartels at sea. The U.S. is planning to deploy these 3 warships near Venezuela.
So the gloves are off, and President Trump is moving the U.S. military into position near Venezuela. This comes just days after a $50 million reward was offered for the capture of that country's dictator.
No way, a 50. What?
Man U.S. sources identify as the ringleader of an international criminal empire already waging war on U.S. soil until now.
The U.S. is deploying 4,000 additional troops to waters around Latin America. The Marines and sailors will be used to combat cartels, a focal point of President Donald Trump.
The Trump administration also recently doubling to $50 million its reward for the arrest of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro.
They can continue to send into our country, Venezuela.
Maduro uses foreign terrorist organizations like TDA, Sinaloa, and Cartel of the Suns to bring violence into our country. He is one of the largest
that's crazy.
traffickers in the world.
The DEA says 30 tons have been seized from Maduro and his criminal network, 7 tons tied directly to Maduro himself. And the Justice Department says that is just part of this investigation.
What? Maduro is a demon.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum reacted to the news, saying interventionism is not one of the ways to solve conflicts.
Well, because she's with them, the Mexican presidents or the cartel.
The troops, a nuclear-powered attack submarine, several destroyers, and more are also being deployed.
4,000 Marines are headed to Latin America. Damn. That's crazy.
This says Trump is ready to use every element of
Trump is ready to use every element of American power against Venezuela's narco-terrorist Nicolas Maduro to stop from. Dude, this is gonna be like a video game one day. Probably like 10 years from now. This is gonna be the next Call of Duty. What the fuck? This is crazy. This is a good story. Marines going to Venezuela to stop a fucking narco-terrorist. That's a good
American
story.
power to stop Venezuela. But what nobody's talking about is how Venezuela, they're not just causing problems for America by
I didn't
doing
even know Venezuela's dictator was like that. Damn.
things like opening their prisons and flooding our country with gang members. Oh no, in fact, they're also terrorizing their neighbors, like the peaceful nation of Guyana, which has a representative government free elections and speaks English, revealing that this communist regime, which exports crime all over the civilized world, as we've seen recently with homegrown Venezuelan gangs like Tren de Aragua taking over apartments in places like Colorado, is up to no good while its own people live in poverty. And Venezuela's not exactly secret about their cartel connections. I mean, even our neighbor Mexico does a way better job hiding any supposed connections.
Mexico's well connected to the cartel. Like, we all know. It's blatantly obvious.
Government might have to the criminal underworld, but Venezuela, they don't care. It's out there for everyone to see. And it's well known that Venezuela's done everything it can to export those who do not want to make other countries better to places all over.
Oh shit, I'm getting a call from the president.
The world, especially.
Just kidding, because I'm talking about Venezuela.
Who called you?
No, I don't know. It's just a random number from I don't know where. Oh, ya está ese salió la ropa. Let's go.
Let's go. I need this.
We got 25 more minutes for the other one. That was a lot of work. I remember that one.
Say it, and I don't want to do that again.
She was like, we're lucky we didn't get our phone like we did. Remember?
Nervous.
That machine that she had helped. Or Hector brought. Helped.
Oh, she used it when it rained recently?
No, but when it got flooded, Hector brought a machine, remember? And it would like pump out the water out. That was pretty cool.
America. And once you learn that some of these gang and cartel members are former Venezuelan military, it reveals that these aren't just thugs committing crime on our shores. They're actually a hostile foreign militia conducting an invasion funded by their government. And that brings us to the real reason the US is taking things to the next level, moving a small handful of troops just offshore into Venezuelan waters for the first time. There's a conflict already taking place on US soil, a conflict which allows Venezuela to profit while America is destabilized and harmed. And I'll give you one guess how the troops in that conflict got into America.
Leonardo, José Ochoa Godoy.
¿De qué país vienes?
Venezuela.
¿Para dónde vas aquí en los Estados Unidos?
Arlington, Texas.
¿Qué país vienes?
Venezuela.
¿Para dónde vas aquí en los Estados Unidos? ¿Dónde?
Texas.
This is a massive I told you so moment. These guys have had 4 years to come here and set up shop. And when we look at these well-fed, healthy gang members, we're supposed to believe that they came from an impoverished country, which is starving and where there's no food. Or more frighteningly, these guys were fed by their government so that they could have the energy to come here and commit crime. But as you're about to see, their bad acting, it's not just limited to our shores. And as the president of El Salvador points out in this tweet, these TDA gang members suddenly fall ill the very moment they get deported back to Venezuela. Yet they were healthy enough to leave that country and sneak in to America, where they act as operatives of the criminal empire the U.S. has now set its sights on getting rid of, with an armada of warships headed south right now, with only one goal in mind.
Tonight, the Trump administration is cracking down on cartels at sea. A source briefed on the matter tells NBC News the U.S. is planning to deploy these 3 warships near Venezuela. President Trump focusing on the coasts after reducing illegal border crossings to record lows. The Trump administration also recently doubling to $50 million its reward for the arrest of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, saying he violated U.S.
Look, this is a big problem. Any country that would go out of its way to harm the residents of another country while making money at the exact same time, gangs they flooded America with, and all of the individuals repaying debts to cartels and gangs working illegally in sanctuary cities throughout America. Jobs, it has been revealed, people obtained when corrupt domestic businesses teamed up with smugglers to bring people into America in advance, to work at construction sites, restaurants, and possibly even in meat processing facilities. And all this does is bring in massive amounts of money to this criminal enterprise that is not making the world a better place.
Earlier this year, the president designated several...
But if there is, that might be complicated because, as you're about to see, the U.S. doesn't have permission to just land troops in a neighboring country near Venezuela and march through residential neighborhoods on their way to a foreign capital.
Element in the criminal gangs. Before that, it's just going to be just here and there. So having the military power, Donald Trump sending these people down, our military down south into Central and South America certainly will help. But we have to do something on land. We must have to get the cooperation of the presidents and the congressional.
The U.S. can't just land component to this, which is where things get a bit interesting. And if we pull up Venezuela here, we can get ourselves a nice little overview. So here we have the country. On the eastern side, we've got Colombia, and then over here, we've got Guyana, and over here, we've got Puerto Rico. Now, Puerto Rico's an island and a U.S. territory, which has a military base, but there's a lot of water in between these two countries. Colombia, they're not at all enthusiastic about the idea of U.S. troops landing somewhere here. But then we have the free nation of Guyana. They are the only English-speaking nation in South America. They also have recently discovered tons of oil. ExxonMobil is down there right now developing that country, and some people think they're going to become very rich very soon. But also, Venezuela has threatened several times over the last couple of years to invade Guyana. Now, you have a communist country threatening to invade a free country where you have U.S. industry operating and investing. So it seems like to me, I'm not a General Patton, but if I were and I wanted to get things done quickly, perhaps going in through Guyana would probably be what the U.S. ends up doing. Not sure about that, but if you wanted to find anybody who has a problem with Venezuela already, well, one of their neighbors already does.
This process would be ongoing for several months, and the plan is for them to operate in international airspace.
No, that has to be the plan.
And international waters. Is this a novel idea?
No, look, it's not a novel idea. We've always operated in many parts of the world in a very similar fashion, but you need to have the cooperation of those countries. If we don't, and this needs to be a combined effort. Can't be the United States only. We can't just, go on sovereign land on our own.
Right, so the interesting thing here is that as the world mocks our president, he's actually getting results. There could be peace.
Así que el cambio de régimen, además de ilegal, es inmoral. Y aquí no lograrán ni colonizar, ni esclavizar, ni a Venezuela, ni a América del Sur, ni a nuestra América. Y si algún día tocan a Venezuela, toda la América se levantará por nosotros, por el pueblo de Bolívar. Es muy grande la causa que defendemos.
Between Ukraine and Russia, which would be a good thing. And look, I don't want to see military intervention in Venezuela. Hopefully there's a way to just get Venezuela to clean up their act without any of this having to happen. I mean, after all, the people in that very country are suffering. They live under an oppressive regime that is cartel linked. It's essentially a criminal organization that runs an entire country and exports their talons to the entire world. It's bad news for everyone.
That bounty was at $25 million. Now it's doubled to $50 million, and it's clear that the Trump administration sees Nicolas Maduro as a terror threat. Earlier, Marco Rubio did say that Nicolas Maduro isn't even the president of Venezuela. Now, the U.S. government is accusing Maduro of running a transnational empire and providing material support to Trinidad and the Sinaloa cartel.
So the president of Venezuela, he doesn't just have his own country that he controls. He's got his criminal assets that he sends out into the rest of the world to help run that criminal empire. Tren de Aragua, these cartel-affiliated members that we keep hearing about, these guys have been all over the U.S. migration crisis, and it has been perfect to help them enter our country, acting as if they're...
All of us.
Un solo puño a defender la agresión imperialista contra Venezuela. Ellos creen que nosotros somos unos salvajes, nos ven como unos primitivos, que no tenemos capacidad de racionalizar y pensar. Les hemos demostrado al imperialismo norteamericano una victoria tras otra. Cada victoria contra el imperialismo es una bendición de Dios. Yo soy un soldado más, igual que ustedes. Y estoy dispuesto a dejar mi último aliento, dejar mi vida defendiendo esta patria.
If they're here seeking a better life, but really they're just seeking better criminal. Confirm the details of this potential arrangement, saying that she has no knowledge of any wrongdoing on the part of Venezuela's dictator.
Maduro uses foreign terrorist organizations like TDA, Sinaloa, and Cartel of the Suns to bring deadly violence into our country. He is one of the largest traffickers in the world and a threat to our national security. Therefore, we've doubled his reward to $50 million. Under President Trump's leadership, Maduro will not escape justice.
So the hope here, and this could still happen, is that the $50 million reward is given to people who take down this dictator from the inside. That would be the best result. All they got to do is turn him over. And, you know, it might even be cheaper and safer and cause less harm and be easier for that reward to go even higher. And once there's enough money on the table, this gentleman might not be around for much longer, walking the earth as a free member, leader of a cartel enterprise. Everyone knows the story of Tren de Aragua, of how
a small armada of U.S. Navy ships heads towards Venezuela. Its mission? To stem drugs sent from the South American country.
The DOJ has seized over $700 million of Maduro-linked assets, including 2 private jets, 9 vehicles, and more. Yet Maduro's reign of terror continues. He is one of the largest narco traffickers in the world and a threat to our national security.
It's the most significant escalation of tensions between the two countries. And now embattled Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro says he's preparing for an invasion and imploring citizens to fight off a potential U.S. attack.
Yo me alisto. I am enlisting because I love my homeland. Join with your family. Join with your community.
That's crazy.
Enlist and join the ranks.
They're gonna
Long
enlist
live
in the
Venezuela.
The call to arms is a way to rally support in his country.
That's why.
Exhausted after years of economic decline and political strife.
We defend our people, and we, one way or another,
They're
are
gonna die
going to
for
defend
them.
ourselves.
Those country wouldn't even give you $1 to eat. That is crazy.
Los honores corresponden.
John 11:50. You do not realize that it is better for you that one man die for the people and the whole nation perish. Huh.
A small armada of U.S. Navy ships heads towards Venezuela.
Are going to defend ourselves.
But even as he claims to have more than 4 million soldiers, police, and militia members ready to do battle, Maduro may be outgunned.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Trump
way outgunned.
administration has sent at least 3 U.S. Navy destroyers, a submarine, attack aircraft, and 4,000 Marines to stem the flow of drugs to the U.S., which they say Maduro is responsible for. Maduro denies any role in drug trafficking, but he is under federal indictment in New York for allegedly Maduro denies any role in drug trafficking, but he is under federal indictment in New York for allegedly running a shadowy cartel of army officers turned drug lords. Armed conflict may still be far from certain, but a showdown is brewing off the coast of Venezuela with
I wonder if anybody's visited Venezuelan money now.
Destroyers deploying off the coast.
There we go.
Now, there are 3 guided missile destroyers deploying off the coast of Venezuela.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro responding now by calling for a nationwide military enlistment and vowing to deploy millions of his own troops.
Hundreds of Venezuelans are answering President Nicolas Maduro's call to join the militia.
The U.S. is doubling its bounty for Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, now offering $50 million.
$50 million? Oh my God.
Arrest.
It's all part of President Trump's plan to help combat drug cartels in Latin America.
A war.
I agree with that.
Between the United States and Venezuela is starting to look inevitable. And if this does break out, it could easily turn into the biggest and deadliest conflict of
a Latin war
this decade. Trump has already mobilized at least 3 Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers, a nuclear-powered attack submarine, and 3 amphibious assault ships carrying roughly 4,500 U.S. personnel, including some 2,200 battle-ready Marines, now sitting off the Caribbean coast of Venezuela. In retaliation, the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, went on state TV and called on the entire nation to mobilize. Not a few thousand troops, not even a few 100,000. He claimed he would put 4.5 million civilian members of the Bolivarian militia under arms. Yeah, you heard that right.
Why, though? They're not even know what to do.
4.5 million.
A lot of them are going to die if they do that.
People. That's nearly 15% of Venezuela's entire population, supposedly ready to fight and to defend the homeland. He's calling it a special plan to cover every inch of Venezuela with patriotic fighters, from beaches to the jungles, armed with rifles and even missiles. And just to put this into context, in 3.5 years of full-scale war, Russia has mobilized a little over 1 million troops. Venezuela, without even a war underway yet, is claiming it will mobilize 3 times that number.
You will not.
At the same time, Maduro's government has also banned all civilian drones. Because back in 2018, he survived an assassination attempt when an explosive-laden drone went off near him during a military parade. With the US being the most advanced military in the world when it comes to drones, you can see what Caracas is worried about. If this escalates, drone strikes are almost guaranteed to be a part of the fight. But why on earth are both of these nations going at each other this hard right now? Well, it all comes down to narco-trafficking, decades of bad blood, and yes, a whole lot of oil. But let's start with the most surreal fact, that there is literally a bounty on Venezuela's president. And not just any bounty, it's the highest publicly known reward ever offered by the US government. Washington has offered a $50 million reward for any information that could lead to Nicolas Maduro's arrest. To put that into perspective, Osama bin Laden, after 9/11, the most wanted terrorist on the planet, had half of that. Just 25.
Only 25. Only half that?
According to Washington, Maduro is one of the world's biggest narco-traffickers, probably the biggest. U.S. officials allege he's working hand in glove with drug cartels to flood the American market with fentanyl-laced cocaine.
That's crazy, of course.
Cocaine is a stimulant. It floods the brain with dopamine, giving that sudden burst of euphoria, confidence, and energy. Fentanyl, though, it's the opposite.
Kill you.
It's a synthetic opioid nearly 50 times stronger than heroin, and 100 times stronger than morphine. Just 2 milligrams, something you could balance on the tip of.
For real, just like this much can kill you.
Pencil can kill a healthy adult. Cocaine revs up the body. Fentanyl shuts it down. And when the two collide, the body has no idea how to respond. Heart racing, lungs slowing, brain misfiring, and then within minutes, breathing simply stops. That's why so many overdoses aren't really overdoses in the traditional sense. They're murder. Many people think they're doing a normal hit of cocaine, but in reality, they've just taken a lethal dose of fentanyl hidden inside. And the reason it keeps happening is because fentanyl is dirt cheap to produce. Cartels and street dealers slip it into cocaine, heroin, even counterfeit pills, because every microgram stretches the supply and fattens their profits. They know the risks. They know how little it takes to kill.
But I don't get why they're trying to kill you and keep selling it to you.
But for them, it's just a few extra bucks. Drug overdoses were already one of America's leading causes of death, claiming tens of thousands of lives every year. But fentanyl has turned that epidemic into something darker, and Venezuelan cartels are using it as a chemical weapon and profiting from the very deaths it causes. That's why Trump has been so fixated on this fight. To him, narcotics, especially fentanyl and cocaine, are the silent weapons destroying American communities. So, on day one of his return to office in January, he signed an executive order that basically put cartels in the same legal category as Al-Qaeda or ISIS.
I agree with that. They are. The cartel are terrorists. Like, they are.
To his State Department to designate the most violent cartel.
People who cut limbs and cut your head off and fucking cut you up into little pieces. They're terrorists.
And gangs across Latin America as foreign terrorist organizations. Labeling cartels as terrorists opens up the door for the U.S. to use the military and its intelligence agencies directly.
Smart. I agree with that.
Against them, with harsher penalties for anyone providing support. That means the U.S. military can officially act against them wherever these cartels operate, be it the Mexican mountains or the Venezuelan jungle.
Unfortunately, I agree with that.
By February, 8 criminal organizations across the West.
Cartel is too powerful. Especially Mexico, especially like these poorer countries. That's why these countries are so poor.
Hemisphere were formally designated as foreign terrorist organizations. Among them, Mexico's infamous Sinaloa and Jalisco.
You see what I just said?
Cartels. the MS-13 gang from El Salvador, and yes, Venezuela's own.
All these Latin places, or majority of these are happening.
Tren de Aragua. For Washington, Venezuelan traffickers are the biggest problem. For decades, U.S. officials have warned Caracas about the scale of drug shipments moving through its territory. And yet, every year, it's only gotten worse. So this August, the U.S. Attorney General doubled the bounty on Maduro, up to $50 million. Citing evidence that he was actively colluding with Venezuela's own military-run drug cartel, the so-called Cartel de las Solas, or the Cartel of the Suns, as well as Mexico's Sinaloa cartel. Together, they're accused of flooding the U.S. with fentanyl-laced cocaine, which is exactly why you now see U.S. destroyers and Marines off of Venezuela's coast. Officially, the Pentagon is calling this latest naval buildup a counter-narcotics operation. But make no mistake, this is a serious show of force, not only for the cartels, but also for the nations that secretly support them. Those warships aren't just there to stop smugglers' boats. They can conduct electronic surveillance, gather intelligence, and if ordered, launch precision strikes from the sea. The U.S. is hitting Maduro from all sides. Putting that kind of money on a leader's head doesn't just stigmatize him internationally, it sows paranoia inside his own circle. Who's loyal? Who's tempted by those millions?
He's paranoid because, I mean, he had his own people sign up for the military. Who does that?
Could a general or even a bodyguard flip on him? That kind of paranoia eats away at a regime from the inside. When Washington first indicted Maduro on narco-trafficking charges back in 2020, he laughed it off on TV, saying the accusations make me laugh, and dismissing them as a pretext for regime change. But that's exactly the point. It's about regime change. Since 2013, Maduro has clung to power through rigged elections, banning, jailing, or exiling nearly every opposition figure who would challenge him. But the bad blood between Washington and Caracas goes far beyond Maduro. He didn't just appear out of thin air. He was the hand-picked successor of Hugo Chavez, the firebrand socialist who took power in 1999. Chavez built his entire identity on being the anti-American revolutionary of the 21st century. In fact, in 2006, he stood at the UN podium, and here's what he had to say about the US President George W. Bush.
Oh, shit.
And do you know what Bush had spoken about just a day earlier? Yeah, his speech had nothing to do with Chavez. It was about civilization versus terror, a call for unity against those who use terror as a weapon to create fear. Basically the same generic post-9/11 Bush message. But to Chavez, it felt like Bush was personally calling him out in front of everyone. You see, when Chavez rose to power in 1999, he pitched himself as the heir to Simón Bolívar, the liberator of South America.
No, come on.
Cast the United States as a modern empire, meddling in Latin nations. Almost immediately, his Bolivarian revolution clashed with U.S. oil interests. Remember,
well, that's true. The Americans do love oil.
Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the world. Chavez knew the leverage that gave him. He poured billions of petrodollars into social programs that won him genuine popularity among Venezuela's poor. But he also weaponized oil as a geopolitical tool. He sold it at discounts to allies, used it to build influence in the region, and funneled profits into forging anti-US blocs. He deliberately strengthened ties with Fidel Castro's Cuba,
of course,
courted Iran, Russia, and even Saddam Hussein's Iraq, at a time when Iraq was one of America's most bitter enemies. And of course, if you poke at a superpower's interests, they'll poke back. And that's exactly what the US did to him. In 2002, he faced a coup attempt. He and his supporters accused the Bush administration of having a hand in it. And while Washington denied any direct role, US officials had met with the coup plotters beforehand, and the White House was quick to welcome Chavez's brief ouster. The problem for Washington was that Chavez wasn't gone forever. Just 2 days later, after a massive street protest and loyalists in the military rallying to him, he was back in the presidential palace, angrier and more convinced than ever. From that moment on, and for the rest of his presidency, Chavez blamed almost every problem he faced, whether it was economic chaos or street protests,
on
U.S. imperialism. It was his shield, his rallying cry, and the backbone of his Bolivarian revolution. When the U.S. invaded Afghanistan and Iraq, Chavez doubled down. He mocked Bush publicly, calling him Mr. Danger, and accused Washington of spreading terror under the banner of democracy. In return, Washington began treating Venezuela as a problem state. By 2005, the U.S. cut off arms sales, citing Venezuela's refusal to cooperate on counterterrorism and anti-drug efforts. In 2006, the same year as Chavez's infamous devil speech at the U.S.
And he didn't want to pick it doing nothing, just recording yourself on the screen. Fucking show some initiative or something. You want to fucking pick up your report that you dropped on the floor initially.
Right now? Be nice to me.
Bitch, I am nice to you. That's the thing. I've been nice to you. I am nice to you. All you want to do.
Alright.
Let's just
done.
record. 3 minutes.
Well, let's go right now.
No, because it's 3 minutes. It's
3 minutes?
cycling. It's still cycling.
Let's go.
We're just gonna wait for 3 minutes and that's
No,
it.
we're gonna done. We're gonna make it done. Let's go.
Alright. It's gonna take forever to turn off. I've had that washer before. It takes forever to turn off.
Let's go.
So just okay. Well, I told you. His mom said it was okay.
Y'all seen that? Y'all seen that, right? They seen that. They seen that.
When
that
the
on
State
video.
Department officially declared Venezuela as a country failing its international counter-narcotics obligations. Thus began the sanctions era, and the bad blood never really cooled down after that. So by the time Nicolas Maduro inherited power in 2013, after Chavez's death from cancer, Venezuela was already on a collision course with the U.S. Under President Obama, the U.S. began imposing targeted sanctions on Venezuelan officials in 2015, citing human rights abuses and corruption. Obama even signed an executive order declaring Venezuela a national security threat, a necessary legal step that allowed even harsher measures.
Welcome to What's Next. At SJVC, we're training the next generation of trades and business.
Then came Donald Trump's first term, which took this U.S.-Venezuela
Oh gosh. Like this.
confrontation to a whole new level. Trump openly called Maduro a dictator, and he still refers to him that way to this day. He also refused to recognize Maduro's controversial re-election in 2018, which was widely condemned as fraudulent. And in January of 2019, when Maduro swore himself in for another term, Washington officially recognized opposition leader Juan Guaidó as Venezuela's legitimate interim president. Washington threw its full weight behind Guaidó, the young head of Congress who had declared himself interim president during mass protests. Over 50 countries quickly followed the U.S.'s lead. It was an unprecedented diplomatic strike, an open attempt to strip Maduro of legitimacy and box his government into isolation on the world stage. The White House hoped that pressure, combined with Venezuela's street protests and collapsing economy, would push Maduro out. And for a brief moment, in April of 2019, it looked like that might happen. Guaidó and a handful of defecting officers tried to spark a military uprising in Caracas. Tanks rolled, crowds gathered, and for a few tense hours, it looked like a coup would finally throw him out. But the top military brass ultimately stayed loyal to Maduro, and by nightfall, the attempt had fizzled.
Damn.
Many in the United States wanted a direct military intervention, but Trump held it off. But he did wage an economic war instead. Starting in 2019, the U.S. slapped Venezuela with crippling sanctions. The harshest came with an embargo on Venezuela's lifeblood, its oil. Washington froze Venezuela's U.S.-based subsidiary oil company, Citgo, and cut off Maduro's access to its revenues, and barred American companies from trading Venezuelan crude. Allies were pressured to follow suit. Practically overnight, Venezuela lost its biggest customer, the United States. and found it nearly impossible to do business in dollars. This time, the goal was to starve the regime of cash, accelerate its collapse, and force Maduro out. The pressure did hurt. Venezuela's already shrinking economy went into a freefall. By 2020, millions of Venezuelans had fled what became the largest refugee crisis in modern Latin American history.
That's why they were over here in New York.
Hyperinflation, food shortages, blackouts, the country was collapsing. And yet, Maduro survived, thanks to the loyalty of his generals and the lifeline thrown by Russia, China, Iran, and Cuba, who showed him how to slip past U.S. sanctions via secret oil shipments, covert gold sales, and a maze of backdoor financial schemes.
Damn.
Lifelines that kept the regime afloat even as ordinary Venezuelans bore the cost. Frustrated, Trump's team turned to even more extreme measures. In March of 2020, the U.S. Justice Department decided to indict President Maduro and more than a dozen top Venezuelan officials on charges of narco-terrorism. The State Department offered a $15 million reward for information leading to Maduro's arrest or conviction. That was the first time Washington placed an official bounty on a sitting head of state in the Western Hemisphere. To Venezuelans, it felt surreal. Their sitting president was now formally wanted by U.S. courts, like a fugitive. Historically, Washington had only done this once before, against Panama's Manuel Noriega in the 1980s. And in that case, the U.S. eventually invaded. And indeed, Trump reportedly asked his military planners about the feasibility of a naval blockade. By April of 2020, the U.S. launched a massive, enhanced counter-narcotics operation in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific. Navy destroyers, AWACS surveillance planes, Coast Guard cutters, and helicopters were deployed under Southern Command. Within weeks, the Pentagon claimed over 100 metric tons of cocaine and marijuana seized, around 1,000 traffickers arrested, and an estimated $3 billion in revenue denied to cartels and Maduro's cronies. But after several weeks of these tense patrols and intelligence operations, the show of force quietly wound down. Ships were reassigned, assets pulled back, and then, just when things seemed to calm—
These are the videos that no other reaction people give you. What's going on in the real world. They just give you all this fake shit. I'm giving you what's going on right now.
Came Operation Gideon in May 2020, something that sounds too crazy not to mention. If you're worried about how AI is changing, that's why we revolution. How normal video here infiltrate Venezuela by sea, planning to capture Maduro himself. The mission was led by Jordan Goudreau, a Florida-based security contractor who claimed to have inked a deal with some opposition figures to topple the regime. They came ashore on fishing boats, only to be ambushed almost immediately. 8 insurgents were killed, dozens captured, including the 2 American ex-soldiers, both former Green Berets who are now imprisoned in Venezuela.
Damn.
Washington quickly denied involvement, and rightly so. The Associated Press had already exposed the plan days before, and U.S. officials had even warned Goudreau to abort the mission. But in the end, the incident was deeply embarrassing for the Venezuelan opposition, and gave Maduro a propaganda field day. He went on TV declaring it proof of U.S. plots, that Washington was conspiring to assassinate him and overthrow the revolution. By the end of Trump's first term in early 2021, Maduro was still standing. Juan Guaido's so-called interim government never managed to govern anything, and over time, the opposition fractured. Many countries that once recognized him quietly pulled back when it became clear nothing was going to change. Venezuela kept limping through an economic catastrophe, with millions more citizens pouring into Colombia, Peru, Brazil, and—
Yeah, Venezuelans were dipping. Like during 2018, 2019, they were like, poof, they were dipping.
Beyond, creating a refugee crisis on par with Syria. And yet, Maduro survived, thanks to the loyalty of his generals, whom he kept close with privileges, and thanks to lifelines from Russia, China, Iran, and Cuba. Then Joe Biden took office. He didn't like Maduro any more than Trump did. He still called him a dictator and left the core sanctions in place. But Biden preferred negotiation to brute pressure. His administration opened back-channel talks, hoping to restore at least some semblance of democracy. And when Russia invaded Ukraine in March of 2022, everything changed.
Everything fucked up.
Suddenly, Washington faced an oil crunch. Russian crude was sanctioned, supply was cut, and the world needed another source. And wouldn't you know it, Venezuela has the largest oil reserves on Earth. So Biden took a gamble. In March of 2022, senior
U.S. officials traveled to Venezuela.
U.S. officials flew quietly to Caracas to meet Maduro, the first high-level talks in years. The U.S. wanted to explore
That's crazy, what the fuck?
Oil sanctions if Maduro offered political concessions. Washington's hope was to pry him away from Putin and maybe get Venezuelan oil flowing again to stabilize global markets. Maduro, sensing leverage, rolled out the red carpet. He smiled, he posed for photos with the envoys in Miraflores Palace, something unthinkable just a year earlier. But in the end, Maduro had extreme demands. He wanted all sanctions lifted and recognition of his presidency. But the U.S. wanted free elections, the release of political prisoners, and a real democratic process. So, yeah, not much progress was being made. Still,
nothing was being made.
Was broken. As a goodwill gesture, Venezuela released 2 detained Americans in March of 2022. Later, in October of 2022, Maduro freed 7 more U.S. citizens, including oil executives from Citgo, in exchange for the release of 2 of his wife's nephews.
Oh shit. Oh shit. That's crazy.
The pair, known as the narco nephews, had been convicted in a
narco nephews
U.S. court for trying to smuggle nearly a ton of cocaine. By late 2022, the U.S. was experimenting with a different approach. The Biden administration granted Chevron, America's last remaining oil major in Venezuela, a limited license to restart pumping and exporting crude. Washington wanted to see if easing some sanctions might bring Maduro's government to the negotiating table. For Venezuela, desperate for cash and markets, it was a lifeline. For the U.S., it was leverage. For a brief moment, Maduro even softened his tone. Instead of rallying against Yankee imperialism, he talked about investment, cooperation, and reconciliation. U.S. officials hinted that if Venezuela made real moves towards a free 2024 presidential election, more sanctions relief might follow. For the first time in years, there was a faint glimmer that Venezuela's crisis could find an off-ramp through negotiations rather than war or collapse. The carrot of sanctions relief was on the table. Whether Maduro would ever truly bite remained the unanswered question. But by 2024, that hope slowly died on its own.
Because, you know who came to president.
Between Maduro and the opposition stagnated, and no one seriously believed he'd risk power in a fair vote. And indeed, when election season came, his regime banned the most popular opposition candidates and stage managed the contest on its own terms. Not surprisingly, by late 2024, Maduro declared victory for another term.
Of course.
Said the vote was neither free nor fair. Opposition leaders were still in jail or exile. The media was muzzled, and the Electoral Commission was firmly in government hands. The Electoral Authority announced his win, but never fully released results. The opposition claimed their stand-in candidate had actually won, and a large part of the international community backed those claims. But it didn't matter. By January of 2025, Maduro was sworn in again. The U.S., with Trump back in the White House, flatly refused to recognize Maduro's victory, just as it had rejected his 2018 re-election. In Washington's eyes, Maduro remained an illegitimate dictator, who's clung to power through sham elections and repression. Any goodwill earned during the 2022-2023 truce evaporated and set the stage for an even more confrontational United States. Trump 2.0 wasted no time, and this was the moment when he finally recognized 8 Latin American criminal groups as foreign terrorist organizations, including Venezuela's own Tren de Aragua. Until recently, Tren de Aragua was little known outside the region. Born about a decade ago inside a Venezuelan prison, Tren de Aragua morphed into a massive transnational crime syndicate. They engaged in everything: drug dealing, human trafficking, extortion, you name it. Tren de Aragua spread its tentacles into Colombia, Brazil, Peru, and even into the U.S. via migrant routes. U.S. authorities say Tren de Aragua's members have been turning up in various U.S. cities, piggybacking on the waves of desperate Venezuelan migrants fleeing their country. This fits perfectly with Trump's border agenda of cracking down on the gangs and tightening the border. He repeatedly tied Venezuela's collapse to the surge of migrants arriving at the U.S. southern border. By blaming communist dictators and cartels for pushing that wave north, he framed tougher border controls and stricter enforcement as not just immigration policy, but as national security. Maduro's government, for its part, insists Washington has no evidence, claiming the U.S. simply wants regime change to control Venezuela's oil. Caracas claims that most illicit fentanyl flooding the U.S. comes from Mexican cartels using Chinese precursor chemicals, not Venezuela. And technically, Venezuela isn't a major fentanyl producer. What it is, though, is a convenient transit route for Colombian cocaine. And that's where the U.S.'s case against Maduro sharpens. Now, that being said, there's plenty of circumstantial evidence that Maduro's inner circle, possibly Maduro himself, has been knee-deep in the drug trade. Over the years, multiple Venezuelan generals, including a former defense minister and ex-head of military intelligence, have been indicted by U.S. prosecutors or caught abroad in trafficking plots. Even the term cartel of the suns comes directly from the network of Venezuelan generals. In the Venezuelan military, high-ranking officers wear sun-shaped insignias on their shoulder epaulets to mark their rank. Over time, investigators noticed that many of the officers accused of smuggling cocaine and running protection rackets were the ones with those suns on their uniforms.
Oh.
That's how the nickname stuck, the Cartel of the Suns, a reference to both their military rank and their role in moving tons of cocaine through Venezuela. And then there's the family connection that I mentioned earlier. In 2015, two of Maduro's own relatives, the nephews of his wife, Celia Flores, were arrested in a DEA sting in Haiti, caught trying to move 800 kilos of cocaine. They were convicted in U.S. federal court and served years behind bars before being swapped in 2022. Can anyone seriously believe the president didn't know his own family was in the trade? Even Venezuela's state-owned airport has been linked to trafficking attempts tied to the presidential family. And if that isn't rot at the very top of the regime, then what is? Which is why, once those cartels were labeled as terrorist organizations, and with Maduro accused of leading, or at least protecting them, the US could use harsh measures, even the threat of force, as morally justified against his regime. After all, who's going to stand up in defense of a narco-terrorist dictator? It also sidesteps the thorny sovereignty issue. If you can convince the world that your target isn't a legitimate head of state, but a mafia boss in presidential clothing, someone whose network is killing nearly 100,000 Americans a year, then operations to nab him don't look like invasions, they look like law enforcement. The US played that exact card in 1989. When General Manuel Noriega of Panama was indicted on drug charges, President George H.W. Bush sent in 27,000 troops in Operation Just Cause. They toppled Noriega, dragged him to Miami, and he spent the rest of his life shuttling between prison cells. Washington would love nothing more than to run that playbook again, this time with Maduro. Lastly, being tough on Venezuela plays extremely well in Florida, home to a huge community of Venezuelan exiles and Cuban Americans who loathe socialism. Maduro, of course, is selling a very different story. To him, this is Yankee imperialism 2.0, the same old plot to seize Venezuela's oil and install a puppet regime. And yes, it's impossible to ignore oil in this story. For much of the 20th century, Venezuela was one of America's top oil suppliers. But under Chavez and Maduro, and especially after US sanctions, that crude has increasingly gone elsewhere. China, India, and through shadowy, illicit channels designed to dodge sanctions.
Shout out India.
Peak in the late 1990s, Venezuela pumped over 3 million barrels per day. By 2013, it was still around 2.3 million, but by 2020, output had collapsed to barely 500 to 800,000 barrels a day. More recently, it's roughly averaging around 8 to 900,000 barrels per day in 2023 through 2025. The industry is devastated. Only 1 or 2 drilling rigs are active in the whole country, versus more than 80 rigs a decade ago. Even if sanctions vanished tomorrow, Venezuela couldn't flood the market overnight. It would take years of investment to rebuild. Nonetheless, in a world hungry for oil and where prices have been volatile, especially with Russia's war and OPEC's moves, Venezuela's oil is an immense prize. Both the US and China, and others, know this. For the US, getting Venezuelan oil back into the Western supply chain would be a major win. Better to have it flowing to global markets than tied up in shady, sanctioned deals with China, or left underproduced by a chaotic regime. And that's exactly why, today, the only real lifelines propping up Venezuela are China and Russia, keeping Maduro's government afloat when much of the world has shut its doors. Beijing has poured tens of billions into Venezuela over the past 15 years, mostly in oil-backed loans that Caracas struggles to repay. A private Chinese company just signed a 20-year deal to produce 60,000 barrels a day by 2026.
Yo, what's up with China?
Investing over
what's good with y'all?
$1 billion. Russia's Rosneft has also invested, often helping Caracas sell oil under the radar. So, when the US suddenly beefed up its military presence off of Venezuela's coast, Beijing was none too happy. China's energy security depends on a handful of suppliers, and Venezuela is one of them. That's why Beijing quickly issued a public warning, denouncing the US buildup and insisting that no country should use, or even threaten to use, force in Venezuela's internal affairs.
What's up with it?
Sensing an opportunity, Maduro started flaunting his friendship with China more than ever. In a recent speech at a teachers' congress, he randomly whipped out a new Huawei smartphone and claimed it was a personal gift from China's president Xi Jinping, saying he can now talk to Brother Xi via satellite phone whenever he wants. With a grin, Maduro even did a goofy "Ni hao, xie xie," which means hello, thank you, in
Alright.
Mandarin into the phone. It was indeed goofy, but still a message that China has its back. Just this past week, China's ambassador in Caracas met with Maduro to celebrate progress in their partnership. Maduro himself boasted on social media about advances in economy, science, technology, and artificial intelligence, along with what he called Venezuela's sister China. But then again, realistically speaking, China's support, while real, has limits. After barely weathering Trump's tariff war, and with its own economy struggling
China 67.
regain momentum, China has no barely weathering Trump's tariff war, and with its own economy struggling to regain momentum, China has no appetite for a direct clash with Washington over Venezuela. So yeah, China will strongly oppose U.S. intervention in principle, protest diplomatically, and perhaps quietly boost trade with Venezuela, but they won't physically intervene on Venezuela's behalf. As for Russia, well, that's pretty obvious. Moscow is bogged down in Ukraine, bleeding resources and focus. But Russia also has military cooperation with Venezuela. In past years, they've sent bombers to land in Caracas, run joint exercises. And Moscow has an interest in poking the US where it can. Right now, Russian officials might privately encourage Maduro to stand firm. And Russia may even try to funnel military gear to Venezuela if needed. And if the US seriously escalates, Russia could use Venezuela as a bargaining chip. Something like, well, we'll step back in Venezuela if you step back in Ukraine. After all, Venezuela is one of the few cards Russia holds in the Western Hemisphere. If tensions truly escalated, then a war in Venezuela could be a prolonged and ugly one. Venezuela has nearly 30 million people. And while its regular military has been weakened by years of corruption and neglect, it's still sizable, around 100,000 personnel, with special forces, armored units, and air defenses. And then there's Maduro's claim of 4 to 5 million militia members.
I doubt it.
Realistically, the true number of armed active militia may be much lower, but even a fraction of 4 million could complicate any foreign intervention. Add to this the Colombian guerrilla groups like the ELN, who operate freely inside of Venezuela with the government's blessing, and you start to see how messy things could really get. This wouldn't be Iraq in 2003, where US forces rolled into Baghdad in a matter of weeks. Caracas is a dense, sprawling capital.
Damn.
The war there could mean drawn-out insurgencies, brutal urban combat, and the kind of street-by-street fighting that grinds armies down. And beyond the battlefield, the humanitarian cost would be staggering. Millions of more refugees would pour across Venezuela's borders into Colombia, Brazil, and beyond, straining neighbors already overwhelmed by the exodus. So, is Washington really prepared to go that far? Probably not, at least not yet. The current deployment of destroyers and an attack submarine looks more like preparation for a blockade or a quarantine. Maybe limited strike operations against cartel or military targets, supported by drones and surveillance assets. On the other hand, Maduro might go all in on asymmetrical tactics. His government has relationships with various non-state actors. For instance, Venezuela maintains ties with Colombian rebel groups, and there are alleged links to Lebanese Hezbollah operatives in Venezuela. In a nightmare scenario, if Maduro truly thought he was about to be taken out, he or his allies could sponsor disruptive activities, anything from cyber attacks to stirring unrest in neighboring countries.
Doubt it.
Or, in a far-fetched but not impossible scenario, facilitating a terrorist attack against US interests as revenge. This is speculative, but when leaders feel existentially threatened, they often reach for desperate measures. And all the while, it's ordinary Venezuelans who pay the price. They've already endured years of hyperinflation, blackouts, food shortages, and repression. The last thing they need is their country becoming the battlefield of a proxy war. Or worse, a direct one. Some Venezuelans even joke darkly that maybe an American invasion could at least bring dollars and jobs, but behind that humor is exhaustion. So where does this leave us? Honestly, right at the edge. There are still diplomatic off-ramps. Intermediaries like France, Spain, and some Latin American states have floated the idea of internationally monitored elections in exchange for easing sanctions and dropping the bounty. Even the Vatican, which has mediated before, may be trying to cool things down. Maduro himself recently hinted he was open to dialogue. In the coming weeks, we'll see if those US warships...
Like, subscribe, gotta get your own mouth. We'll see what happens.
I use QuickBooks because it's easy to use software, but
Wait, what?
Northwest, listen up. I'm only 12 years old. I'm a kid.
And North is obviously 12, but...
I know you think I look grown up. Mom should preserve her daughter's innocence.
Oh, dog. Kanye West was right about everything.
Kimberly, you have officially become your mother, Kris Jenner, because look at you out in Rome putting your daughter on full display. North is only 12 years old, and Kim knows exactly what she's doing here. We're talking about the same Kim Kardashian who caused the paparazzi.
Over the last few
Team, it's been a grind.
And here we are.
Look for an
What we gonna need? Let's watch all nipple babies.
Cornerbacks in the late 1990s and early 2000s, spending most of his career with the Miami Dolphins.